This PIAA championship on PCN is brought to you in part by Alvernia University. The following is a PCN Sports presentation.
Live from Hershey, PA, it's the site of the 2021 PIAA Soccer Championships. We have the 2A Boys Championship coming up this afternoon between Quaker Valley and Lewisburg. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on PCN. And Brian, great matchup between two programs who are certainly familiar with this setting, including Lewisburg, the defending champions.
The defending champions, but last year things really came easy to them. They blew away all of the competition a year ago. This year, they had to really take a little bit more ownership of what they did. It was a team that their senior leadership had to come through, and they found grit and determination and really clawed their way to come back to try to defend their championship. And
the Green Dragons really have a lot of good players, but Carter Hoover has been really solid all year long.
Let's take a look at Carter Hoover, the unsung hero of this team, according to his head coach, Ben Kettlewell. 8 goals, 11 assists on the season. Had the big goal that equalized in their last game with Midwest that allowed them to get to this game. He controls the tempo of this team. Been a starter since the sophomore year, and he is pretty much the guy who's going to control what happens in the middle of the field for the Green Dragons.
And for Quaker Valley, they have been really good out of District 7. And Rowan Kriebel is the Whippeal Player of the Year.
And an All-State candidate as well, or not candidate, he's on the All-State team. 40 goals, 24 assists, has been a leader on this team since his freshman year. Here's a guy that shows up in big games. There isn't a bigger game than you can have than this one. This Quaker Valley team has been chomping at the bit. They lost the opportunity a year ago to try to play in a state championship game because they were unable to play in the WPIAL championships last year. Because of COVID, they have been waiting for over a year to have this opportunity. They're raring to go.
Should be a good one here in the 2A Boys Championship. We'll have starting lineups coming up next. You're watching the PIAA Boys Soccer Championship here on PCN.
When you need care, you need it fast. But you need it done with a gentle hand. We make caring an active choice, so you feel it the moment you walk in the door. Or when you log in. Urgent caring means we always listen to your needs and put you at ease. No matter what you walk in for, we'll make getting better feel better. It's what we do, because every chance we get is a chance to show we care. MedExpress. Urgent caring.
I'm Dave Williams, your host here in Pennsylvania Country Roads. Come join me as we travel throughout the countryside of Pennsylvania, places that you love to see, the people you love to meet, and of course, the many wonderful things that go on in our state. All this and much more every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on PCN TV.
PCN offers Pennsylvania organizations, business, and associations the opportunity to have their message telecast statewide. Fusion on PCN is a platform for you to reach out to all of Pennsylvania using our statewide cable network and online streaming. You produce the content with your message, and PCN delivers it statewide. Fusion is a partnership that helps expand your reach and meet objectives through an alliance with PCN. Go to PCNTV.com/fusion for more information.
PCN is tackling the PIAA Championships one game at a time. Watch the PIAA Football Championships live December 9th, 10th, and 11th on cable and streaming. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
Support PCN and the programming you love by texting PCN-TV to 877-907-9770. With your generous donation, PCN will continue to share everything Pennsylvania with you and your neighbors. Please consider donating today. PCN is everything Pennsylvania.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium as we get set for the 2A Boys Soccer Championship. And we will now send it over to our man in the booth, Ryan Hartman, for the starting lineups.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of PIAA and Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, welcome to Hershey Park Stadium and the 2021 Soccer Championships. In today's 2A Boys Final, they represent District 4, a record of 21 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Welcome the Green Dragons of Lewisburg High School. Their opponent, representing District 7, a record of 22 wins and 2 losses. Welcome the Quakers of Quaker Valley High School. Fans, please keep in mind athletics are an extension of the classroom. Actions meant to demean players, coaches, teams, spectators, and officials is not in the highest ideals of interscholastic education and will not be tolerated. Bullying, taunting, profanity, and attempts to intimidate officials and opponents is unfriendly, unsportsmanlike, and unacceptable. Actions like these may result in a spectator being asked to leave this facility. The student athletes, coaches, and officials before you are giving you their very best. You should give them yours. Be loud, be proud, be positive. Sportsmanship, the only missing piece is you. Your officials for today's game are Tom McAndrew, Dave Tripp, and Mike Weber. And now let's meet the starting lineups for today's game. First off, for Lewisburg, their head coach, Ben Kettlewell, assisted by Britton Ziegler. Here's the starting lineup for the Green Dragons. Starting in goal, senior wearing number 1, Tony Burns. On defense, senior number 2, Caleb Kim. Wearing number 6 at forward, a junior, Reese Diefendorfer. Senior defense, number 7, Ian McKinney. Wearing number 8 on defense, a senior, Simon Stumbris. At forward, a junior, wearing number 9, Alfred Romano. Senior midfielder, number 10, Nick Passanetti. Starting in the midfield, a senior, number 18, Rudy Christensen Garral. Wearing number 21, at forward, a senior, Philip Permy-Ashkin. On defense, junior, number 22, Zach Kreischer. Starting in the midfield, wearing number 40, senior Carter Hoover. The Green Dragons of Lewisburg High School. And now here's the starting lineup for Quaker Valley. Their head coach, J.J. Vecchio, assisted by Sean Ryan and Landon Grant. Here's the starting 11 for the Quakers. Starting in goal, a senior wearing number 50, Zach Burr. On defense, senior number 7, Blaze Burns. We're number 10 at forward, senior Kellen Oth. On defense, senior number 14, John Freddie Krebs. In the midfield, wearing number 15, a senior Will Dunda. At forward, a senior number 16, Rowan Kriebel. On defense, a senior number 18, Tim Smith. Wearing number 19 in the midfield, a senior Ryan Edwards. At forward, senior number 23, Keller Shamovitz. On defense, junior number 25, Ben Henry. On defense, wearing number 31, a sophomore, Nick Allen. The Quakers of Quaker Valley High School. At this time, we would ask that you please rise and direct your attention to the left of the scoreboard as we honor our country with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
And we are ready to roll here at Hershey Park Stadium for the 2A Boys Soccer Championship. Quaker Valley out of District 7 and Lewisburg out of District 4. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on PCN. And Brian, you know what I love about this game is that you have two programs that really know how to win. They've been here before. These two teams have matched up in this game before, and I'm really excited to see what the 2021 championship brings us here today.
You want to talk about how good these two teams have been. You look at Lewisburg, they won state championships in 2020, 2016, 2015, lost in 2017. The team they lost to was Quaker Valley, who made it 2016 and lost to Lewisburg, and then came in and then won in 2017 and 2019. These programs have been here consistently. Last year, Quaker Valley felt that they were going to get here. The team that got here instead of them, Deer Lakes, they beat them during the regular season 3-2. So they really have claimed to say, hey, if we would have gotten a chance to play, we would be here. That chip on their shoulder is huge. And I think that gives them a little bit of an edge coming in here today. You got a Lewisburg team on the other side. You talk about guts, determination, what they showed, especially in that semifinal game. But they've come from behind, something they didn't have to do at all last year pretty much. But they had to come from behind in both their quarterfinal game and their semifinal game against Allentown Central Catholic and against Midwest. And both times they were able to dig down deep and get the job done. There's Tony Burns. That's a guy who a year ago, you didn't know who he was. You know who he is now because he's made some great saves for this team. 2 saves in the penalty kick shootout against Midwest to get them here. He was a hero in that last game, and he's going to be a major factor today.
10 goals against on the year, 53 saves, and in cage on the other side, Zach Burr. He's got number 50 with the orange jersey on right there. Also only 10 goals against, 28 saves. He didn't get to see as many shots because of the blowouts that Quaker Valley has had, but you've got two very good keepers here today.
And you look at Zach Burr, and here's a guy in 2019. He actually started in the Whippeal Championship that year, but didn't start in the state championship game. They had a senior who played over top of him when they won the state title, but he was in the mix at that point. Last year was the starter. This year, coming into the year, he had broken his leg and had to work back to health, got the starting job back, and now has been in the net and done very well.
We are underway as it is Lewisburg, the Green Dragons in the white, and Quaker Valley, the Quakers, in the black.
Very important start here. I think this is a Quaker Valley team, and especially because the wind we already saw in game 1 in our girls' game earlier, the wind is a major factor here. Quaker Valley has a strong wind at their back, and they will want to start fast in this game. Important for Lewisburg, who has not started as fast the last couple games, to really hold serve early.
Well, so far, Quaker Valley on the attack in the attacking third. It goes over the end line, and it will be an early corner kick for the Quakers. It'll be Keller Shamovitz, the senior forward, to take it for the Quakers. Just goes with the short corner right here. Good play to the top of the 18, sent towards the box, but a good job on the back line by the Green Dragons, and they send it to midfield.
You're going to see a very high-powered attack here for Quaker Valley. You've got Keller Shamovitz with 50 goals on the season, Rowan Kriebel with 40 goals on the season, and the guy who sets them up many times is Ryan Edwards, number 19. He's got 49 assists on the year. That's an amazing total.
It is quite a trio up front there. Don't forget about Will Dunda, 16 goals, 13 assists, also a Whippeal All-Selection. And you've got some good defenders as well for Quaker Valley with Nick Allen and Blaze Burns, also Whippeal All-Section selection.
And let's not forget about John Freddie Krebs. One thing that their head coach, J.J. Vecchio, told me before the game, he said, you know, a couple of guys who are very important to their offensive attack are their outside backs. John Freddie Krebs, Nick Allen, Colin Wood was also somebody who was part of that earlier in the season, but he got hurt, so it's just the two of them now, Krebs and Allen. And he says their ability to get up and back has been instrumental in this team being able to be the offensive and defensive juggernaut they've been.
Lewisburg trying to reverse fields and get across midfield and put on the attack. Have not been able to do that as of yet. Early going. It is cold and windy down there on the turf here at Hershey Park Stadium. And Brian, as you alluded to, the wind is moving left to right, so it's in favor of Quaker Valley. And just to allude to the girls' game that we saw earlier, all 3 goals went in that direction from left to right. So the wind will play a factor here today.
When the wind swirls here at Hershey Park Stadium, it is a definite advantage for the team that is going with the wind. And we've seen that over the years in quite a few games, and today is not going to be an exception to that.
Had a little bit of contact and no whistle on that. The official just says let's it play on, and it'll be a throw in here on the near side for Quaker Valley.
A year ago, that Lewisburg team, which was so dominant, they outscored opponents last year 137-6. And you see over there on the sideline, right there, that's J.J. Vecchio. He's the head coach. Check that. That was Ben Kettlewell, who was the. I saw him in the black, and I'm thinking, oh, that's Quaker Valley. But everybody's got black and heavy coats on down there. But Ben Kettlewell, I mean, he's really done a fantastic job with this team coming in. They have outscored opponents this year 85-16, so they definitely have been a little bit more battle-tested. They had some very tough non-conference opponents that they've brought in and played against. Their only loss to State College earlier in the year. So we're going to foul in the middle of the field.
A foul in the middle and indirect, I believe, was the signal. So we'll have a free kick here for the Green Dragons.
That's Carter Hoover, who we spotlighted before the game, and just a little arm in the back from Ryan Edwards knocks him down. Two of the better players that you're going to see on the field this weekend. Going head-to-head.
So here comes Lewisburg pushing forward across the 18, and good defense on the back line by Quaker Valley. And here come the Quakers. Far side of the field. Shamovitz. Good ball to the far side there to Kriebel with some space. Kriebel will cross and headed out of the box by Lewisburg. Good job by the back line. That was Stumbris. Simon Stumbris there on the back line.
Yeah, he's one of the returning players and the returning starter from the back line. Played a fantastic game a year ago.
Good job by John Freddie Krebs to send it away out of harm's way on that cross by Alfred Romano.
Always good as a keeper to get your hands and feet on the ball early in the game just to get some of those nerves out. And Tony Burns gets that chance for Lewisburg.
Yeah, Tony Burns, you mentioned what a great year he's had. An 800 save percentage, 53 saves, was huge in the PKs in that semifinal. But how about Lewisburg? Reese Diffenderfer putting on a show there on the near side. That's a good lead ball and catching up to it and the cross, but right there. Good job by Blaze Burns to send it over the far side. But how about Diffenderfer? Nice little show he put on.
That's Jack's little brother. Jack won a state title here. And Reese showing some great footwork there. Great move. And Hoover with a beautiful ball. Waited perfectly with the wind because it held up just enough. They just weren't able to get back on the end of it.
We had the early attack from Quaker Valley. That led to an early corner kick where they just played it short. And now it's Lewisburg trying to attack. But now here comes Quaker Valley with possession in the midfield. Shamovitz a little bit too far and grabbed by Tony Burns.
That's a good look, though, that time. What he saw was Kriebel with the center back stepped up into the formation a little bit. There was an opening in between the left back and the center back, and he saw Kriebel moving in there. Just the ball waited a little bit too much.
Quaker Valley on the move. Kellen off. Now played back. Nick Allen going opposite side, but a good job on the far side right there. Caleb Kim, the senior defender.
One thing that Quaker Valley coming into this game was really excited about, according to their head coach, J.J. Vecchio, they were looking forward to playing on a nice wide field like this. Last game out, they had played on a very tight field. At this time, they have one of the wider fields you're going to play on here at Hershey.
Little miscommunication there as Zach Burr came off his line. Now he has to race back. The Green Dragons pressing forward. Great job, Blaze Burns.
That's something that Ben Kettlewell's teams, though, are known for, is their pressure out of the 4-3-3. Those guys up front constantly attacking and asking questions of those backline players, and that time it almost paid off.
Quaker Valley possesses here in the midfield. Ben Henry plays it to the far side. Now to the middle it goes to Ryan Edwards. Near side, Kellen Oth. Nick Allen. Quaker Valley taking their time, getting some good space. Here's Will Dunda. Lewisburg sent it away just before the 18. Nick Allen will play it back. Henry one more time to Krebs. And Quaker Valley nearly gives it away, and now a battle at the midfield. Good fight by Philip Permiashkin.
Yeah, Permiashkin's one of those returners for me. He didn't start a year ago, but was a major contributor. 7 goals, 13 assists a year ago. But look at the pressure. And that's one of your frontline players. You're right forward in this 4-3-3, just continuing to harass John Freddie Krebs, and finally gets called for a little bit too much contact.
And just a moment ago, Shamovitz tried to send it into the goal. How about that? The way the wind took that one out of bounds over the end line. And Carter Hoover got right in the way of that big kick by Shamovitz. I'll tell you what, down there in the cold, that probably did not feel good for Carter Hoover. Getting in the way of that attempted cross or attempted pass to the box.
Yeah, you definitely feel things on a day like today. The wind is whipping, but also there's a chill to the air as well, as you should have. This time of year in Pennsylvania in November, it's going to be cold. And you're going to have these two teams dealing with the elements.
Sun peeked out for a moment there, Brian, but now back in.
Yeah, it might try, but it just tends not to stay very often. But here's a great opportunity now for Quaker Valley with a throw in. Can they get numbers in the box and get something forward?
That's going to go over the end line, and it will be a corner. Second corner, yep, for Quaker Valley. It'll be Ryan Edwards to take it this time.
Edwards will take all of their corners on one side, on the right side. Shamovitz is the other guy.
Shamovitz, that goes above the crossbar, but not a bad idea with the wind at your back to put it on goal.
That's what you're attempting to do at this point. You're trying to take every opportunity that you can. So we take a look at our officials. Tom McAndrew, David Tripp, Michael Weber, our crew who's down there. And these guys are also people who have earned their way, as well as each district who gets to have opportunity to name officials to the state championships games, and those officials earned their way as well. So congratulations to those three for getting that honor.
Lewisburg looking to clear. Lewisburg, the District 4 champs and defending 2A champs. Quaker Valley won District 7. And as we mentioned, they've been here before. 2019 2A state champions. Here comes Lewisburg through the midfield. That's a good ball. Race to it on the far side. Blaze Burns gets to it, and it deflects off of Passanetti, and it will be a throw-in for Quaker Valley.
There's J.J. Vecchio. What a job that he has continued to do with this team. Has been an assistant coach with this team since 2008. Was with the 3 state championship teams that they were able to be through. The team that didn't quite get there in 16, the one in 17 and 19 under Andrew Marshall, and then took over last year. What a year to have to take over a program, and got to find out exactly how much pressure it is and how good it is to be able to take the reins of a team as good as this Quaker Valley team. And he has just continued to flourish this team under his leadership.
How about in the state tournament for Quaker Valley? They've outscored their opponents 17-0. 8-0 against Grove City out of District 10, 7-0 against Somerset out of District 5, and then 2-0 over their District 7 Whitfield rival, North Catholic.
But a lot of different guys scoring, and that's the other thing about this team. They don't just have to have those main couple guys. They've got Shamovitz and Kriebel between them with 90 goals, but they've got a bunch of other guys who can hurt you. In fact, in that game against North Catholic, it was Edwards and Carter Turk, who comes off the bench for this team, who are the goal scorers for them.
Quaker Valley looking to get on the board in reverse fields here, but again, Lewisburg has not given up a ton of goals this year. Tony Burns has been very good in net.
I think the other thing you're seeing is so many times, Ari, we see a feeling out process between teams because they haven't been here, they haven't gotten to experience the nerves of the situation. These teams might know that there's nerves, but these teams have been there before. They understand the drill. They have coaching staffs who are quite familiar with the situation. They're going to make them comfortable. We didn't see that. These teams came right out, played, and tried to establish what they do, and we're seeing a great beginning to this game.
Quaker Valley had some good chances off that throw-in, and now with some space, Kriebel. Great defense on the back line by Lewisburg. To the midfield it goes, but right there is Krebs.
Yeah, Zach Kreischer was the one who was able to step in to make that play.
Trying a little two-man game far side. Edwards still trying to push through in that corner, and it's out. And it will be, Edwards tried to sell it, but it will be a throw-in for Lewisburg.
Interesting how they defended there, too, because normally you would want the defense up a little bit further. They actually had them defending all the way to the back line, which shows that Lewisburg is trying to cut down the ability of this Quaker Valley team to try to take the ball end line and cut it back. They're trying to cut that play off specifically, so keep an eye on that and see if the adjustment is made from Quaker Valley. They're trying to make them more narrow as a team with that sort of defense.
Good ball to the far side. Shamovitz cannot keep it in. Again, the wind just took that over the far side. It was a good ball, but have to adjust for this wind really going both ways. And now Lewisburg again looking to clear. They had some chances maybe about 5 minutes or so ago, but it's been Quaker Valley who has possessed here on this end of the field over the last few minutes. There's Shamovitz putting it towards goal, and what a great read by Tony Burns. Just not easy to read with that wind. Just let it go over the end line for the goal kick.
And you look at Tony Burns, he's not the tallest keeper, so he has to be very aware of those balls headed towards the upper 90. Just see how close that is. And again, as you said, great read by him. Had a player on rushing. As you count, Helen Oth was the one who was coming from the backside. He had to be worried about him, just had to make sure that ball cleared. It does, and Burns get the goal kick after that.
To the near side, Kellen Oth threw a couple of Green Dragons, but cannot finish the play. Up into the midfield. Passanetti looking for Rudy Christensen Gural, but a little bit too far for him.
And that send back by Ben Henry actually can be a dangerous play because the center backs tend to be a little bit more forward for Lewisburg, so they can sneak behind them. If those the outside backs stay a little bit further behind the center backs, you might have a little bit of an opening there.
In the midfield, Shamovitz going with it to the near side. In the near side. Tried to get it to Kriebel, but again, well defended. The Lewisburg Green Dragons have done a good job to neutralize Kriebel thus far. And here's Carter Hoover with a good lead ball far side. Trying to chase it down is Permiashkin. And it is a throw-in for Lewisburg.
Yeah, John Freddie Krebs over there on that side stays with him and does not allow anything more than a throw-in. But you just see what Carter Hoover is able to do, just switching the point of attack. He's going to get a quick break here as they'll bring a substitute into the game for Lewisburg. That is Alfred Romano who returns.
Cross towards goal, and it goes a little bit wide. And it will be a goal kick for Zach Burr.
I think something also you're going to see here too, Ari, is you're going to see Lewisburg probably substitute a little bit more. Quaker Valley tends not to sub in the back at all and likes to keep most of their players in a lot of the time. So look for Lewisburg to try to use that to their advantage, maybe having a little bit more depth or using a little bit more depth in this game.
Yeah, we've already seen a few subs come in for Lewisburg. I don't think Quaker Valley has subbed as of yet. So we will watch that and see that development. Here's Shamovitz. What a great move with the left foot. Sails over the crossbar, but Shamovitz has really challenged. Most of his shots have come from outside the 18. That one was just inside, but that was a really nice move, and Shamovitz is going to continue to put it on net.
He's a left-sided player. quality left-footed strike, and that time just got a little bit too far under it. But that's where the danger area is. This is a Quaker Valley team that they can go right, but they like coming from that left-hand side because of what Shamovich does with that left foot.
Great job on the takeaway by Kriebel. Going towards the end line. Will cross, didn't get a lot on it. Lewisburg right there waiting.
And again, dropping back, it was Ian McKinney who was all the way back on that end line, not allowing that cutback down on the end line.
Throw in for Quaker Valley. There's Nick Allen, sophomore defender. Kriebel will play it to Oth. Good passing, but a great job by Silvakos.
Definitely a foul there.
So we will have a foul, and this will be a direct for Quaker Valley. Really our first set piece for a direct. One more look at this foul as Silvakos guilty of that trip. So good set piece opportunity here for Quaker Valley. They've had 2 corner kicks. They've played it short. Let's see where Edwards goes. Plays it low. Shot, and it's over the crossbar. Again with the left foot, Shamovitz, but not a bad play. They keep it low, and then Burns plays it back to Shamovitz, and just a little bit too high.
It's great use of your center back who's up front on the free kick opportunity, and use him as the layoff man. He comes, drops that ball off, and Shamovitz, again, can't quite get that ball on frame. They're asking questions right now. They haven't needed to be answered because they haven't found the frame of goal. Tony Burns has yet to have to make a save in this game.
Lewisburg looking to try and reverse and create some kind of offense here. Into the midfield, and the takeaway by Quaker Valley. Good ball. Kellen Oth will settle. Plays it to Shamovitz, far side. Shamovitz tried to play it back to Oth, but taken away by Lewisburg. Now taken away by Rowan Kriebel. This will be a throw-in far side for Quaker Valley. There's Kriebel. 40 goals, 24 assists. Whippio Player of the Year. I think Lewisburg's trying to get a substitute trying to get Hoover back in the game.
But you can't because it's a throw-in for Quaker Valley, so that's a mistake from the sideline.
So here is the throw.
Referee did the correct thing, waved him back off.
There's a good ball towards the box and sent into the air by Ian McKinney. Battle in midfield. Quaker Valley still possessing as they have for a majority of this first half. With some space, it's Edwards. He takes a shot and it hits the crossbar.
Wow, what a ball from Blaze Burns to start that thing off, picking out Ryan Edwards on the backside. And does he hit a knuckler? That's one that Tony Burns had no prayer at with the velocity, and it just hits full bore off the top of the crossbar and goes over top. What a rip that time from the senior attacking mid, Ryan Edwards.
That was a laser. That just came out of nowhere. And like you said, it was a great pass from Burns. Here we go. Quaker Valley continuing on the attack. Kriebel into the box. Gets towards the 6 and sent away by Lewisburg.
They do so well defensively getting numbers behind the ball, though. The second they saw Kriebel coming with the dribble, they came over. There were 4 guys boxing him in, so he didn't have any room to try to get a shot off.
Throwing upcoming here for Lewisburg, and now Simon Stumbris back there, and now here on the near side, Darian Silvakos. A little bit of a takedown there, no call, and Lewisburg trying to reverse fields. Oh, and another great job by a Quaker Valley player on the takeaway. That was Shamovitz. Now the Quakers trying to get into the attacking third, and good play to play back to his keeper was Caleb Kim.
That's smart soccer there. There was a little bit of pressure coming that direction. Your keeper's the guy who's able to come to the ball, use his hands. And the other thing is when you head the ball, you don't head it towards your goal. You head it away from the goal so your keeper can go to it. But if something goes wrong, it doesn't go past it.
The Green Dragons trying to apply some pressure. They have not really tested Zach Burr that much, but Hoover, a good play to the far side. It stays in. And unfortunately, nobody home. Again, good defense on the back end by Quaker Valley as they look to clear, and Burns does that. But some pressure from Lewisburg. I think they really have to try and make some good passes there to the outside, get some good crosses, and create some scoring chances.
We talked about Carter Hoover at the beginning of this game, and he has been a real linchpin to what they're doing. Every pass that seems to set something up on the offensive side in this game, he's the guy who's in the middle of that. He's the one making that ball going forward. His coach, Ben Kettlewell, talks about him being a true number 8, a guy who goes box to box, but he can play defensively, he can play offensively, he can do a little bit of everything. Not the guy they had last year, but who is Ben Liscombe, the All-Stater who's now at Penn State, redshirting this year for the Big Ten champion Nittany Lions. He was a guy who just was amazing in everything that he did offensively, defensively. He was everywhere. Carter Hoover's not him, but doesn't have to be. He has his own role and plays it very, very well, and you're seeing exactly what he brings to this team in his senior year.
First substitution for Quaker Valley as Carter Turk, number 24, coming into the contest for the Quakers.
He had the clinching goal against North Catholic in the semifinal game in the States.
There he is trying to pass it to the near side Kriebel, but right there was Ian McKinney for Lewisburg. Now to the midfield it goes. Shamovitz now has it for Quaker Valley. Works the far side, sent out of bounds by Reese Diffendorfer, and it will be a throw-in for Quaker Valley. Krebs. Battle at the midfield, so we had a couple of close calls here for Quaker Valley. No shots taken yet from Lewisburg. Playing it to the far side, Shamovitz with space. Takes it towards the end line, and last touched by Quaker Valley, I believe, so we will have a goal kick. That was not a bad play, though, trying to draw the corner.
True, but Caleb Kim was up to it and did a tremendous job physically getting in there, stepping in, and making sure that Shamovitz had nowhere to go. They know which foot he prefers, so you're not going to allow him to make the turn with his left.
Yeah, Quaker Valley has really put on a lot of pressure, but you're right, the back line for Lewisburg has really been up to the task. Caleb Kim, Ian McKinney, Simon Stumbris, and Zach Kreischer.
It is difficult, though, to play 40 minutes of defense in your own end, and we've seen that with this wind. And while Lewisburg has had some forays into the opposing side, it's really been them on the back foot this entire first half so far. Still 15 minutes, and Quaker Valley probably will feel like they are behind the 8 ball if they don't get a goal going with the wind.
Great defensive play here on the right side. And now that ball is sent over the end line, and it will be another goal kick for Lewisburg. Maybe the thought process here for the Green Dragons is, just play defensive. You have the wind coming in your face, and let's wait till we switch the other end.
The other thing that they've done, they have followed the game plan very well. When you are playing into the wind, you want to keep the ball on the ground, especially in your own half of the field. And they've done a tremendous job of passing out of the back right now when they've had the opportunity.
Quaker Valley had some space just a moment ago, and now far side Shamovitz looking to cross. And again, a great job to send that out of harm's way by Stumbris.
But a quick giveaway. Romano had it. They tried to turn it into offense the other way, and Passanetti just a little bit too close that time, and they give it away.
Carter Turk plays it to Edwards. Nick Allen will cross. Top of the 18. And a good job by Diefendorfer of Lewisburg. A couple of 50-50 balls at the midfield. Now Quaker Valley with a little bit of momentum, and no foul call on that little collision. That was Kriebel.
That was clean. It was a physical play. You got to allow some physical play. I just thought it was a good hard challenge.
Continuing some good challenges here as Nick Allen on the tackle. Kriebel trying to gain possession, and Carter Hoover sends it to the midfield. Blaze Burns collects for Quaker Valley. Far side, Shamovitz again. Crosses. Good high cross for Edwards. And a good job by Stumbers to come over and send it out of the box, but what a cross by Shamovitz, and Edwards had a shot at it.
Put it in great position. I think on the backside of that play, Turk actually slipped. He may have had an opportunity. You see this on the replay. Here it comes over here, the collision between Edwards and McKinney, and you see the bottom right of your screen at the end there, that was Turk who had to change his direction just slightly, and he slipped on the way. Might have had a chance to try to take a shot.
Another good scoring chance for Quaker Valley, but still no score here at Hershey Park Stadium. Throw in here near side for Carter Turk and the Quakers. Allen trying to collect is Ben Henry. Kriebel comes away with it. Shamovitz, a little give and go. Kriebel tried to head it to himself. Players down right inside the box, and now Carter Hoover has it for the Lewisburg Green Dragons.
I love the adjustments, though, that the Green Dragons have made in this first half, especially on the offensive side. They recognize they're playing a lot of defense, so out of their 4-3-3, they turn it more into a 4-5-1. They drop those two outside forwards back more as wingers to help out defensively. You have one guy up top trying to hold that ball up, and it's worked so far here in the first half against a very high-powered Quaker Valley attack.
Carter Hoover. What a good ball, but a little bit too far for Permy Ashkin, and coming to the top of the box to grab that was Zach Burr, but a good ball yet again from Carter Hoover.
Actually, that was Kreischer that time from the back who made that one, but between the two of them, both of them looking to push the ball forward when they get the chance.
Battle to the corner, and it will be a goal kick. Good effort, though, by Kriebel.
Tried to get there, and he took a swing at it. I think all he was trying to do on that play was just trying to get a deflection at that point. And if they get that deflection, it's a corner kick, where they've had a couple of those already here in the first half.
To the midfield it goes. Here comes Lewisburg trying to come back the other way, but again, great defense. Nick Allen on the takeaway from Permy Ashkin.
Substitution coming back in for Lewisburg as they continue to rotate guys in and out. Rudy Christian Garal returns, and he'll give a break to Noah Pauling.
Ball played back. Caleb Kim has played a solid game on the back line so far for Lewisburg. Under 10 to play here in the first half. Quaker Valley has had their share of chances.
Well, and they're not going to be happy. And this is a team, their coach tells us that they're very hard on each other. I mean, it's a good hard on each other because they hold each other accountable. And that's their expectation. Their expectation is excellence. They hold each other to that. Very close, tight-knit group, has a great familiarity with each other. But they're not going to be pleased with what they've done so far in the first half because they have had a few opportunities.
Good job on the clear out, Diefendorfer. You just saw that trio moving forward of Edwards, Shamovitz, and Kriebel. There is Blaze Burns. Far side, Shamovitz has it. He will cross. And a good job yet again. Lewisburg has done a great job defending that back line. The best opportunities from Quaker Valley have been really from outside of the 18.
Yeah, and Edwards had the best one when he rocketed one from about 25 yards out off the crossbar. That was by far our best opportunity for either squad in this game.
Inches away from getting on the board.
It's just been in this first half for Lewisburg. They've accepted what the conditions when you are playing with the wind going into your face, they've accepted what that is and have sort of, I don't want to call it bunkered down because they really haven't bunkered down. They have looked for their opportunities, but they realize they're going to be on the back foot a lot more with this wind. And because of that, they have put numbers back and have been able to keep this thing scoreless.
You just saw Carter Turk who was a reserve that came in for Quaker Valley. He's now out. Also for Lewisburg, Noah Poling back in. So the Green Dragons really rotating their subs quite a bit. Really just one used for Quaker Valley thus far. Far side, Kreischer. Now it's Edwards for Quaker Valley. Quaker Valley, the Quakers out of District 7 in the black. Lewisburg, the Green Dragons out of District 4 in the white. A battle of past champions here in Hershey Park.
And teams that have played each other
yes.
here in Hershey before.
Yeah, that's
16
right.
and 17 they played against each other. This Quakers team too. This year coming out of the WPIAL AA Section 4. And who was there? Both Ambridge and North Catholic, the teams who finished 2 and 3 in the district playoffs. The North Catholic was the team that a couple of times was the opponent during the season and also in that state semi. But maybe the key game for this team was actually their game against Ambridge in the semifinals of the Whippeals, because it was a 3-2 win where it really woke them up a little bit that at any time your season could be over, and they have been absolutely lights out since that time.
We talked about it. They've outscored their opponents here in the state tournament 17-0.
You throw in the WPIAL championship game that they won 5-0.
There you
That's
go.
22-0 since that overtime game, so they got the message there and still have not conceded in this game either.
And Lewisburg on the other side defeated Ole Valley out of District 3 2-1. Allentown Central Catholic defeated them 3-2. We just saw ACC, the girls team, winning the state championship at the 2A level just earlier here on PCN. And then, of course, we talked about it, the PK win over Midwest. They won 4-3 in PKs, a couple of big saves from the man in blue, Tony Burns. Quaker Valley with some space here. So we're now under 6 to play. This is Cameron Diggins, who just came in for Carter Turk a moment ago. Now he has it back right at the 18. Again, Quaker Valley has had some space, but once they get inside the box, the Lewisburg defense has really done well thus far.
Allowing them to go very wide, but once they get to the inside, they bunch in numbers. The excellent spacing here from Lewisburg inside the defensive third has been really the key to their defensive prowess.
Here's some space, Kriebel. And again, good defense right at the 18 and sent sky high there by Permiashkin. Now, if you're Lewisburg here, Kriebel with the takedown, that's a foul.
A little bump in the back of Carter Hoover. We'll take another look at this one. That's one that every once in a while you see them allow, but definitely the second that left arm gets extended, there's really not much of a choice for the official. And,
if you're Lewisburg right here, Brian, I feel like, the win not in your favor. Quaker Valley, a high-powered attack. You haven't had any scoring chances, but you have to be happy if you're Coach Kettlewell with the way the defense has played.
Your goal really is 0-0 at halftime if you're Lewisburg. If you're Quaker Valley, you're trying to put the ball in the back of the net as many times as you can with the wind.
Yeah.
That being said, just because they switch ends and all of a sudden the wind's one direction or the other, that doesn't necessarily mean that Quaker Valley isn't going to be able to control a lot of the second half of play as well. They have done a lot of things in this first half very well. They just haven't been able to put a ball in the net.
Not a bad lead pass right there, but again, a good job by Zach Burr to come off his line. And that's really where Burr has done well. He has not been challenged yet, but anytime these lead passes have come his way, he's come off his line to come out and get it right at the top of the box.
I'm just glad he was still awake back there. We haven't seen him for 15 minutes. Because the ball hasn't gotten to him.
On a cold day like this, you could get sleepy back there in this situation. So good for him to stay awake. Here comes Lewisburg with some numbers, pushing forward to the 18. Unfortunately, Permiashkin unable to settle that, and it's sent back to the midfield by the Quaker Valley defense. And a Quaker goes down, no call. I believe that was Kriebel.
They play on. That's a good no call from the official there.
And Tony Burns lets that go out. Good play yet again by Burns. There's Kriebel, and he has been hounded by this Lewisburg defense, but he certainly has the skills to make some magic happen.
They're going to allow Shamovitz on the far outside. They're going to allow players on the flanks to do some things. They are not going to allow Rowan Kriebel, the All-Stater, to hurt them in the middle of the field. They know where he is. Every time he touches the ball, he's got two guys around him trying to dispossess him. He is a marked man out there.
Under 3 to play here in the first half. Kriebel. Nice attempt there for Shamovitz.
I like the idea, too, there, because you have Kriebel over there. If it's not working out for you on the inside, get him wide. See if he can take somebody on 1v1. He's got that part of his game.
Oh, and a giveaway and a shot and a save by Burns. Lewisburg gave it away, and it was Cameron Diggins who put it on goal, and that will be a corner kick. Great job by Tony Burns.
And great shot from Diggins, too, because that ball comes over. It's a reflex, just a giveaway in the back, and Burns is up to the task. You see him right there, left-footed shot. That would have slipped right underneath the bar, a necessary save, and the first of the game for Tony Burns.
Just right underneath the bar. Here's a good corner kick, and a good job on the header by Diefendorfer. Now here's a shot, and it's easily handled by Tony Burns. And Quaker Valley, they have had quite a few chances, none better than that shot by Diggins off the deflection, and then they get a good chance on the corner right there. So the Quakers keeping the pressure on.
Unfortunately, it got to Shamovich's weaker foot. He had to take that one with the right, so I don't think he got as much on it as what he would have maybe with the left.
Into the back it goes.
But you have to take that shot, too. I mean,
yes.
The ball comes to your right. It's not like, okay, I'm going to wait, because you don't have time against these teams. That's why it's so important for all players to understand. You can be really good on one foot. You've got to be able to use that other one, too, because you don't know when that foot is going to be the one that needs to bail you out.
Controversial call there on the far side. Officials say it's a throw-in for Lewisburg. Under a minute to play in the first half. The Green Dragons, can they get a shot attempt off before the buzzer? Permiashkin dispossessed. Allen to the midfield. Kriebel giving chase. And a good job to play it back to the keeper by Simon Stumbris.
A lot of trust when you play it back to your keeper. You can see Stumbris really didn't even look back there at his keeper, knew that Tony Burns would be back there, and just turned it to him very calmly.
20 seconds to go till halftime. Lewisburg at this point perfectly happy keeping it here in the midfield.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh, one more chance here for Kriebel. Getting around the defense, a shot and a save by Burns. It's loose in front. What a finish to the first half as Quaker Valley gets one more shot at it, and Tony Burns is up to the task. We are 0-0 at the half, but what a finish. Don't go anywhere. We will recap the first half when we return. You're watching the PIAA Boys 2A Soccer Championship here on PCN.
This PIAA Championship on PCN is brought to you in part by Alvernia University.
We are your dairy farmers.
Families just like you.
We work hard every day caring for our cows.
To produce fresh, nutritious, delicious milk and dairy products.
To feed families in our community. During these tough times, we're all in this together.
We thank our farmers,
processors,
truck drivers,
grocery store workers,
and all of you.
Remember, buy local.
Choose PA Dairy and PA Preferred.
We are stronger together.
Because. 2 syllables, 7 letters, so much meaning. Because Because is an explanation, an answer to the question why. It connects where we've been to where we're going. And at Highmark, the road ahead is altogether new. We are reinventing healthcare because it can be simpler, smoother, because it can do more. Get ready for healthcare that goes beyond care, because life. Highmark, Blue Shield.
Alvernia University and Reading Collegetown, now offering 3 new engineering majors or enhanced business and communications programs, plus one of the largest athletic departments in Division III for both men's and women's sports. Learn more at alvernia.edu.
A lot has changed since 1932.
But one thing that hasn't is Faulkner's commitment to Central PA.
Our organization is built on values like honesty, integrity, and trust.
Our prices are low and transparent.
Our buying experience is fast and easy.
And we're active in the community, supporting our friends and neighbors at charitable events, local games, and fundraisers. We remain committed to you and our community, to be sure.
Doesn't matter what part of the state you're from, one thing is certain: Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at PCNTV.com.
PCN is proud to bring you Farm Show TV coverage this January 8th through 15th. Get more information at PCNTV.com. Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here for the PIAA Boys Soccer Championships. And Brian, no score here at halftime, but wow, we certainly had some good scoring chances for the Quaker Valley Quakers.
We did, especially towards the end of that first half. All of a sudden, they started really challenging Tony Burns back in the back, and as you're going to see in our highlight package, that first half was Lewisburg playing defense, Quaker Valley taking shots.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this. Tony Burns came up with some huge saves, but here's Shamovitz that had a couple of good attempts from that left side early on.
Yeah, and he was the guy who had some shots. There's Edwards, his shot off the bar, and there's Burns coming out, just controlling his defense. He's the calm back there, and then all of a sudden we had the tip over the top. And then there were a couple shots right at the end of that first half, including this one from Kriebel, that maybe if there was more time left, maybe something else could have come of it. But definitely the play dominated with the win in the first half by Quaker Valley. I think the change in direction is going to be very interesting for both these teams to see what their adjustments are.
And we'll see if Lewisburg gets the advantage going with the wind or if Quaker Valley continues to put the pressure on. We shall see. We'll have the second half coming up live from Hershey Park Stadium. We'll be back with more soccer here on PCN.
Brought to you by Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer, home to the U.S. Soccer National Championship Series, President's Cup, and Turkey Hill Challenge Cup. For more information, go to epysa.org.
When you need care, you need it fast. But you need it done with a gentle hand. We make caring an active choice, so you feel it the moment you walk in the door or when you log in. Urgent caring means we always listen to your needs and put you at ease. No matter what you walk in for, we'll make getting better feel better. It's what we do, because every chance we get is a chance to show we care. MedExpress. Urgent caring.
I'm Dave Williams, your host here in Pennsylvania Country Roads. Come join me as we travel throughout the countryside of Pennsylvania, places that you love to see, the people you love to meet, and of course, the many wonderful things that go on in our state. All this and much more every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on PCN TV.
A lot has changed since 1932.
But one thing that hasn't is Faulkner's commitment to Central PA.
Our organization is built on values like honesty, integrity, and trust.
Our prices are low and transparent.
Our buying experience is fast and easy.
And we're active in the community, supporting our friends and neighbors at charitable events, local games, and fundraisers. We remain committed to you and our community, to be sure.
Did you know you can get a copy of this program? Shop PCN offers you exclusive PCN programs on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital download. Visit PCNTV.com today to start your collection. Shop PCN has everything Pennsylvania.
Travel with PCN to Crawford County this December and explore Tool City, USA. Test your knowledge during Crawford Trivia for your chance to win an exclusive PCN prize box. Learn more at PCNTV.com. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here at Hershey Park Stadium for the Boys Soccer Championships here on PCN. And, again, Brian, the storyline really was Quaker Valley attacking and Lewisburg playing on their heels. And now the question is, with the teams switching fields here, and it will be Lewisburg going left to right, that will be the most interesting part to see who is on the attack more often here in the second half.
I think what you're going to see immediately is how much this wind really is affecting things. And it definitely affected things in the first half. But I think here in the second half, is it a wind that basically is almost unfair? That's almost what you have to look at this point, because if in this second half Lewisburg has the ball in the offensive half the entire time, and we don't get to mention Tony Burns' name at all, and all we're talking about in the second half is Zach Burr defending his goal for Quaker Valley, then you know that this wind is enough that both teams are recognizing that the only chance you really have is going with that wind and trying to adjust to it. And it makes it very, very difficult for both these teams because the two halves are completely different styles of soccer that you have to play.
You just saw a bunch of fans in the crowd. Good crowd here today, and it is cold. People are buttoned up. And this is going to be a long, cold, and windy day here in Hershey.
And you're watching on PCN, where PIAA championship games are the exclusive property of the PIAA. Television coverage is licensed to PCN, whose exclusive rights are protected by federal copyright law. Any retransmission of any kind or other use of the television coverage of this game without the express written consent of the PIAA is prohibited by law.
There you see Quaker Valley coming out. And you ready to go? You saw Lewisburg on the field first, so Quaker Valley may be staying warm a little bit longer.
Lewisburg stayed on the field.
Oh.
Quaker Valley went in the locker room. So two different schools of thought there. You got one team who wants to go in and get warm. You got one team that wants to stay out in the elements. Which one works? Both these teams have been very successful. I'm saying whatever works for each team is fine.
They have been very successful. Lewisburg winning the state title here last year. Quaker Valley, there you see them. They are in the black. 2019 2A state champs. Did not get the chance to compete at the state level last year, but they are back and looking to get back on top of the 2A classification.
They, last year, with everything that went on with the pandemic, this was one of the teams that was affected directly. They were getting set to play in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs, and their season was ended because of a COVID outbreak. So this team has been waiting for this chance, and now they are 40 minutes away, and if they can nick a goal here somewhere and keep Lewisburg off the board, they can get the championship that they felt that they should have been playing for a year ago. And for Lewisburg, this is a team that just continues to produce year in and year out. 2015, 2016, when they went back-to-back, trying to do it again here in 2021 after the championship a year ago.
So here we go, start of the second half. The Lewisburg Green Dragons in the white. They are now moving left to right. Quaker Valley, the Quakers in the black, now moving right to left. And Quaker Valley, at least to start putting the pressure on. And we'll see how this develops as we play on here in the second half. Lewisburg, I don't think took any shots in that first half, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I had them at 0 shots. I had the shots is actually on goal as 3-0 Quaker Valley, and they took the only 2 corners of the first half.
And then had the one direct, that set piece. But yeah, no set pieces for the Green Dragons as of yet. But despite all the great scoring chances for Quaker Valley, we are still tied at 0 here in this championship game. So Lewisburg still with a chance to potentially take a lead in this one, despite being outshot Throw in far side for Lewisburg. Carter Hoover. He will play it back. Stumbris. And now cleared out by Will Dunda. And, you know, Brian, we didn't see the back line of Quaker Valley tested too much. When they were, they did a great job of clearing it out quickly. But I have a feeling they will be tested a lot more with, you know, the wind going in their face here in the second half.
They should be. They definitely should have some opportunities to make some plays in the second half. I don't know that it's going to be as one-sided as what the first half was. This is just too offensive-minded a Quakers team for them to be bunkered down the entire half of soccer. They are going to continue to try to push their offense. They just have to be smart about how they do it. And what Lewisburg did in the first half, keeping the ball low, especially in the back half of the field, I think will do very well for Quaker Valley to learn from what their opponents did in the first half and mimic it.
Lewisburg trying to push forward, but a lot of black jerseys right at the top of that defensive third for the Quakers. Now the Green Dragons in the midfield. Diefendorfer will play it back. Caleb Kim trying to push it forward, but a good job by Shambovitz. Now Ben Henry to Edwards. Here come the Quakers. Good spacing here on the near side, Shambovitz. Shambovitz finds Edwards. Edwards taken down inside the box, no call.
Yeah, I want to take another look at that one because that's one that really could have been called, but many times is not going to be called in that situation because it looks like a solid challenge, but we have no VAR, but if we did, that's a foul. That was a step in there by Zach Kreischer, and he definitely got the ankle. But you don't have VAR for a good reason in the high school game. It's not like we have the camera angles at most games to pull that off, but that one definitely looked like it could have been called on second look.
Good battle. Dunda to the near side. Plenty of room for Shambovitz. Great play by Kim and the takeaway. I'll tell you what, Caleb Kim has really been phenomenal.
Second time in this game where he's gotten physical over there with Shambovitz and has been the winner of the battle.
Edwards with space towards the end line, and he sends it sky high to the opposite side and out of bounds, but not a bad look there by Edwards trying to cross it to a teammate right before the end line.
But we talked about the fact that this is too offensive-minded a team, too talented a team on that end for the Quakers just to sit back. And we're already seeing that in the opening 5 minutes here of the second half. They're going to continue to attack and push things forward.
Here comes Lewisburg. Reese Diefendorfer will send it towards goal, and it goes a little bit wide. So perhaps your first shot for the Green Dragons.
Yeah, really the first time they've put anything towards the net. And it's to the right. It knuckles over and curves over that direction as well. But Diefendorfer, a junior, 9 goals on the season. Not a bad guy to try to take that shot.
That's third on the team in goals behind Romano and Permiashkin. Good ball again, playing it to the side of Shambovitz. He will take a shot, and it's saved by Burns. Burns ready for that right into the kitchen.
A good idea from him to try to get the ball started the other way. They just couldn't hold the play up. It almost feels, though, Ari, that Shambovitz is going to be that guy who's going to create something. He may not be the one who scores it, but for Quaker Valley, if something's going to come from them on the goal, Shambovitz is going to be a part of it.
Good play on the far side. Stumbris as Will Dunda tried to make some moves. Here's one more look from that shot by Shambovitz.
That's his right, too. I mean, that's a nice strike with his right foot. Because, again, he has a very strong left, but also is capable, as you can see, with his right.
Tony Burns grabs that ball straight out of the air, sent it to the air by Rowan Kriebel. And now sent to the midfield by Zach Kreischer. This will be a throw-in for Lewisburg, near side.
This is more of what they liked to do a year ago when they had just 3 strikers that just could fly up front. They leave all 3 of them up front. They were able to cover everything in the back, and they would just send balls, and those guys would make crosses and cross over each other's pass and be able to do things. So they want to try to get back into that here in their offensive end by getting numbers forward, and should be able to do that a little bit more here in the second half.
Ball sent far side. Ian McKinney, that'll trickle out, throw in for Quaker Valley.
And you've got Permy Ashkin on the left-hand side. You've got on the right-hand side, you've got Diefendorfer, and right there in the middle is Passanetti. So between the 3 of them, those are the guys, when they get numbers forward, who are going to be those 3 forwards, and also Alfred Romano will play a little bit more up top too.
The Quakers with space in the midfield. Kriebel plays it far side. Off. Now all the way to the near side. Ben Henry gets it to Shamovitz. He will cross with the right. And a chance for Off, and good job by Burns to just let it trickle out over the end line, but a nice cross with Kellen Off crashing.
Well, you had from one side to the other, Keller to Kellen, and Off is the guy who cuts in there. See this by Shamovitz, and just playing the ball. You've got a guy who attacks the ball, and Kellen Off, the defender didn't go to it, and that gave an opportunity.
Far side as the sun's sneaking out a bit here again at Hershey Park Stadium. Substitution for Lewisburg is Alfred Romano back on for Pauling. Now, Brian, let me ask you here, if you're Lewisburg, you actually got a shot off now. So, broke the ice, and the wind is in your favor. How can you push forward to get some scoring chances against Quaker Valley?
I think the first thing starts with possession, and that's something that they're trying to circumvent the first few times that they've sent the ball that direction. They're actually trying to play out of the back line all the way through. We'll come back to that after this pressure from Quaker Valley.
Edwards with the left foot just sails over the crossbar.
It's the second time he's sent a ball from about that same area, about 30 yards out. This one into the wind, but the wind didn't knock it down. Plenty of left foot on that one, and that didn't miss by more than a couple inches.
Burns was there right at the top of the crossbar.
Well, he's reading the game perfectly back there in the back. It's just, at some point, you take enough shots like that, you figure one of them's going to find the frame.
Edwards again, now play it to the near side, but Caleb Kim getting right into that passing lane, but now Shamovitz will just let it trickle out, and it will be a throw-in for the Quakers.
Back to what you were asking about for Lewisburg right now, they're not really possessing and building an attack at this point. And with the conditions like this, I think it's going to be very difficult with the quality of the back line of Quaker Valley for them to just go over the top. So I think they're going to have to find, like they did in the first half, find Carter Hoover a little bit in that middle of the field. Let him send some balls and set up his teammates. I think that's a place where they could really benefit from the leadership of Hoover inside.
Blaze Burns, his ball headed by Edwards to Kriebel. Kriebel with some good moves, trying to get around the defender. He'll leave it for Shamovitz. Shamovitz towards the 18. Shot and handled. Nice job by Tony Burns, who has really been tested over the last 15 minutes of play.
And the key there is shot was on him. Edwards was on the doorstep, no rebound. Ball that he got down low on, took the short hop, and smothered it. Great job by Burns again.
Throw in far side, Quaker Valley. Gets through Lewisburg. Kriebel will play it to Dunda. Now playing it back, Krebs. Not a great pass, looking for Shamovitz. Dunda. Kriebel. Ooh, I thought we had a handball. It was not called, and then taken away.
For a second, I thought they were letting it play on, but that wasn't the case. The official did not make the indication that they were playing on in that situation. Would have been a dangerous free kick opportunity for Quaker Valley if given.
And Lewisburg trying to reverse fields, getting into the attacking third, but Nick Passanetti unable to get it past the Quaker Valley defense. And, you thought maybe with the change of fields, Lewisburg would have a little bit better of an attack, but that has not been the case thus far. It's been all Quaker Valley.
I really questioned it, though, because as much possession as Quaker Valley was able to create in that first half, and the fact that they just bunkered down the way they did, I really thought that the Quakers would have their chances here, and we've seen it here in the second half as the foul there called against John Freddie Krebs. What that does more than anything else, fans aren't happy with it. It's a firm challenge. It's not cardable. It's not something you're going to give a card for there. And what it also does is Krebs, who is way up from his left back position, now gets the opportunity to scamper back, and they get in a defensive position.
Stumbris sends it towards goal, and Burr went down.
Yeah,
I don't know who knocked into him, whether it was a teammate or a Green Dragon.
He can be upset all he wants. He misjudged the ball, and he does get bumped into, but fortunately that ball continued to just go and go and go.
One more look here, Brian. Oh, yeah, he did get bumped by a Lewisburg player.
He got bumped, but if you look at what happened, that's the wind where he misjudges it just by a little bit. That bump, the only thing it would have done was bail him out.
Tony Burns really did a good job of reading the wind, but this is the first time Burr has had to deal with it. And here's a shot, and Burr has to make his first save off the left foot of Alfred Romano. Not a bad challenge from outside the 18 from Romano.
And got some space and was willing to take that shot from distance immediately. The 20-goal scorer in the season looking for 21, and a good diving stop.
And Burr just tried to clear it, but the wind just knocked down that ball as he sent it into the air. That's going to be a corner kick. I'm not sure why Krebs let that go out. It deflected off of a Quaker, and the first corner kick of the day for Lewisburg.
And this is a great opportunity. Lewisburg always a team that is very crafty with their set pieces, but they're not a very big team overall. So look for them to look for maybe a second ball, something like that. Probably not off the initial.
Nick Passanetti will take it, left foot. And there was a player that had a chance to get ahead on it, but could not quite get it cleanly. And here comes Shabovitz the other way. Back there again is Caleb Kim. He will send it out. It will be a throw-in for Quaker Valley, but you have to like the way that Lewisburg is starting to push forward a little bit and get some chances.
Well, they have to, because you can't just defend. You wouldn't think the entire game. At some point, you're going to have to really challenge, and we've seen over the last couple minutes now, we had the shot from Romano, we had the corner kick opportunity, and what that does in a little bit here for Quaker Valley, now that Lewisburg pushing up a little bit more, does that allow some counterattack opportunities for a lightning-fast Quakers team?
Quaker Valley reversing here, going into their attacking third, but again, a great job by Caleb Kibb. Now settling is Will Dunda. Dunda along the near side, keeps it in play. And he dispossesses, and it rolls right into the arms of Tony Burns. So Will Dunda gave it away and then dispossessed Romano and took a shot.
Yeah, Dunda is a tremendous player. I mean, all WPIAA again this season. 16 goals, 13 assists. He's the guy who a lot of times will step up and take the penalty kicks if the person who gets fouled doesn't want to take that kick themselves. It's Dunda who is the one who steps to the fore. So he is a capable scorer of the ball.
Good job by Lewisburg to get it to the midfield. Reese Diefendorfer. Oh, coming from the opposite side, didn't even see him there, was Darian Silvakos. But now Quaker Valley with possession. Tony Burns was going to come out, but now he goes back to his line. Good defense yet again by Stumbris.
Yeah, Stumbris, the veteran back there against Kriebel, 1v1. Kriebel outran him to the ball. Stumbris out-physicaled him once they got to the ball.
No foul there on that collision between Edwards and Rudy Christensen Gural.
I think that was That was one that was very, very tight. Christian Geraldo, it looked like he didn't extend an arm. It was a shoulder challenge, and Quaker Valley looking for that foul, didn't get it.
Edwards trying to get around a couple of defenders, getting very physical here in the midfield and towards Quaker Valley's attacking third. Ball is played back to Ben Henry. One more time to Allen. Allen towards the 18. And you can see how the wind just held up that ball. And now here comes Lewisburg the other way. Philip Permy-Ashkin through to midfield. The lead ball and then a collision.
Offside.
Offside.
That's a good call by the official. Permy-Ashkin had to reach back for the ball when he was trying to send it forward. And they had the runner on that play, Passanetti, but he had gotten just a half a step behind the defense and had to come back. So a good look that time from the official in perfect position. Otherwise, yeah, that's going to be a foul and a very dangerous free kick, but the offside call came first.
So now Quaker Valley with possession, again going back into their attacking third. Stumbris wins the battle with Edwards, and a giveaway. And sent back towards the midfield by Zach Kreischer.
Just enough pressure there from Passanetti to dispossess Henry of the ball.
Dunda through to midfield. Has it back on the deflection, now sends it far side. Kellen off. Dunda was looking for Edwards, but who else but Stumbris right into the passing lane.
Just sends it all the way to the other side. And Burr can just slowly calm things down. Is the team that is bunkering a little bit here in the last minute or so is the team that has the wind at their back.
Now in the midfield, Kriebel. Far side, off, deflected out off of Ian McKinney. So it'll be a throw-in for Quaker Valley.
He wanted to use Kriebel that time down the wing. I thought he would have been better bringing that to the inside because Kriebel, in making that run, if it's more of a dummy run, all of a sudden that opens up some space for off to the inside, and he had a runner to the inside, I believe, Edwards, who was coming that same direction, but instead trying to play it to his all-stater down the wing, and it got deflected out.
There's Cameron Diggins coming into the game for Quaker Valley. He was a sub late in the first half, and he had a real good chance to score a goal, and Tony Burns had to come up with a big save just under the crossbar. So Diggins is back in. Quaker Valley does not go that deep into their bench, but Diggins and Carter Turk both have seen time as reserves. That pass just dies with the wind before it gets to the 18.
Those can be the most dangerous plays, though, because a lot of times it's whoever wants the ball most and is willing to make the play on the ball when that ball hangs. There's nobody in the area for Quaker Valley.
And that will trickle out. It will be a throw-in for the Quakers far side as we approach the 20-minute mark here in the second half.
You know, both these teams are familiar with having to replace guys who are really special players. Talk about that in a second.
And not a bad pass there, but Nick Allen and Blaze Burns back there for Quaker Valley.
We talked about Lewisburg having to replace Ben Liscombe, who was the Gatorade State Player of the Year. The year before that, the Gatorade State Player of the Year was Dom Ryder, who was Quaker Valley striker who scored 55 goals in 2019.
I like that play there by Keller Shamovitz, who went between the legs of Stumbris. It was out, but watch this.
Well, nutmeg.
Give a little smirk after that, but yes, the ball did go out. So Quaker Valley still with possession here.
Now, in today's day and age, you can video out and you can erase that yellow line over there and make that look really good for the highlight films.
Oh, here racing forward, Permy-Ashkin. Lost possession for a moment, now has it back. Good job by Henry to get back. Passanetti dispossessed by Will Dunda.
That's just what Will Dunda does back at that defensive mid position. You got two of those holding mids back there. They do a fantastic job of really just mucking up everything the opposing team wants to do, muddying the waters and slowing everything down.
There's Edwards and a tackle by Rudy Christensen-Gural, and Edwards goes down.
Got ball and man goes over top. Just a good challenge that time. And Edwards popped right back up after that.
And then right after that, we have a whistle on a foul against Quaker Valley. Shamovitz did not like that call.
Well, this is where they're going to get frustrated because they have felt that they should have some calls coming their way. And then here, but the extension of the arm, that's the difference. You can get away with the shoulder challenge, and this officiating crew has allowed that. The second that left arm comes out and extends, it's going to be called.
Far side across midfield, Lewisburg. Passanetti tried to play it far side. Again, well defended by the Quakers.
I mean, how much does frustration sort of set in here for Quaker Valley? They're through over 62 minutes now in this game, and this is a team that has scored 167 goals on the season. They have not been able to tally one yet in this game. You know, and they're not getting some calls and that they want. They haven't been able to find the answer to the Lewisburg goal. Where does this frustration get them? This is where it's important for them to stay poised, because the team on the other side is just waiting to find that little chink in the armor.
Not a bad pass right there, but scooped up by Burr as Alfred Romano could not find a path to that. But you're right. You have to like the way Lewisburg is playing their composure. I mean, Quaker Valley has put the pressure on them quite a bit here in this one. And Tony Burns has really been phenomenal. He's had some big-time saves, and so has the crossbar for that matter. But Quaker Valley has been close, but nothing on the board as of yet.
Yeah, I've got Burns at 6 saves right now. Great hustle play there from the Quakers.
Yeah, Kriebel keeps it in. Shamovitz. Maybe it took a little too much time, and then the tackle by Lewisburg.
It took a hop, and he couldn't get it one time, that shot. If that ball rolled to him, he was going to take that one time with the right, but it hopped, and he tried to get it over to the left and just didn't have the chance to do it.
Yeah, I did not see that hop right there. I thought he just kind of wanted to reverse it to his left. But, yeah, you're right. If that stays on the ground, that's going to be a one-timer and a potential chance at a goal. There's a throw in far side for Diggins. Quaker Valley starting to put a little more pressure on here over the last couple of minutes.
Well, while I love the way that Lewisburg has played in this game, the more dangerous team by far is Quaker Valley. And you really wonder, can Lewisburg continue to play this way but still not get those opportunities? I know all it takes is one, but they really have only had one chance in this entire game to really have a shot on net.
Out of bounds. Throw in here for Quaker Valley. There's Rudy Christensen-Gural. He's been very physical in the midfield. He's done a nice job with a couple of good tackles.
And he's a guy who started a year ago at right back, has moved into more of a defensive midfield position for this team this year, and that's the reason why. Just those firm, strong tackles in the middle of the field, doing what his counterpart on the other side, Will Dunda, has done for Quaker Valley.
This will be a throw in for Lewisburg, another substitution. As head coach Ben Kettlewell continuing to rotate out a lot of his Green Dragon players. Here's a touch, 50-50 ball. Good attempt by Noah Pauling, but sent back to the midfield. Quaker Valley wanted a handball on Kreischer. They end up dispossessing him. Race for it. Shamovitz tracks it down. Gets around Caleb Kim. Crosses with the left, but right there to send it out of bounds was the aforementioned Rudy Christensen-Gural.
And that's that same play in the first half where they were trying to cut that down, but they were in scramble defensive mode. They finally get end line, trying to send that ball to the middle. Christensen-Gural is up to it.
Great defensive play because you saw Quaker Valley Quaker sneaking right in there. That would have been a great cross and a good chance. at a goal.
That was Diggins who was on the doorstep with that chance if it gets through.
Dunda again in the midfield, getting possession for his Quakers. Shamovitz wanted to go to Edwards, but he was already past them. Carter Hoover sends it to the far side. Philip Permiashkin. Good ball. Romano. Couple of touches, but unfortunately, the Green Dragons unable to get a shot off just outside the 18.
Permiashkin might be that guy. He had the first goal in last year's title game, coming off the bench in that one. And he has that ability, 19 goals on the season. At this point, you feel like one goal is going to be enough to win a state championship for either of these teams.
Takedown there. Edwards on the ground. We play on.
And the official made that indication. He's allowing it to play because the advantage was with Quaker Valley.
Shamovitz, Kriebel, inside the box with the left foot. Keeps it in and cleared out by Stumbris.
And how calm Stumbris was. Tremendous moves by Kriebel getting all the way to the end line, but just ran out of real estate.
Permiashkin gets past the defender with some speed. Plays it to the middle. Romano, the lead ball too far for Permiashkin.
Yeah, just a little bit too much there. Great run from Philip Permiashkin on the left-hand side. Burns had even come over and slid in, had taken himself out of the play when Permiashkin got it to Romano, so there was a numbers opportunity. Ball just a little bit off the mark from Romano on the return pass.
Carter Hoover had it and had dispossessed, but Permiashkin could not come up with it. Now here come the Quakers the other way. Diggins. And again, the challenge is by Christensen Gural, and the foul called on him that time. A little too much with the arm. Free kick here for Quaker Valley. There's Edwards, who's been very active today. Been taken down a couple of times.
There were a couple times when he was fouled, and he was fouled during an advantage.
Here's Kriebel. Good move around the defender with the right foot. Now the left, the cross, and it's knocked down. Still loose in front and cleared out by Caleb Kim. Kriebel had a golden opportunity and could not get a shot off.
Never pulled the trigger, but also didn't have the angle to do so, trying to set somebody else up, and that opportunity never actually got there.
Shamovitz. He'll send it towards goal, and that sails high. Just missed the inside post as it bent away from the goal. One more look here at what Kriebel was able to do. He got Stumbris to the ground, and then he went to cross it to Diggins, and again, great job in there. Kreischer and Christensen Grual again doing a great job.
And then Shamovitz, you see that one was not far off of the upper corner of the goal either, as Quaker Valley continues to be the team with much more of the offensive opportunity.
Edwards coming off, getting a break. I believe that's his first break of the contest.
I think that might also be as much of anything, just to allow him to calm down just a little bit and give him the energy that might be necessary to be that guy who makes that final run on the end of one of those plays from Shamovitz or from Kriebel.
That lead pass, Permiashkin was able to keep it in, but it went right into the arms of Quaker Valley keeper Zach Burr. Here comes Rudy Christensen Grual, far side. Keeping it in. Nobody home on that pass towards the box and cleared out by Nick Allen. Lewisburg possessing here a little bit over the last minute or so.
It's desperately what they've needed in this game on the offensive side, and they just either haven't been able to or haven't been willing to at times. And there's a giveaway, but it might play to their favor.
It will, as Krebs tried to clear it and hit off the side of his foot, and it will be the second corner kick of the half and of the entire game for Lewisburg.
Each of the corners has gone that direction, and unfortunately for Krebs, he just lost a little concentration, never got the hips behind that ball, and it continued to track forward. So now, a chance here for Lewisburg.
Nick Passanetti will take this one. He took the last one as well. Low, Bender, headed out of harm's way by Blaze Burns. Still possessing, though, is Lewisburg. Kreischer far side. And that'll be another corner kick deflected off of a Quaker.
I like what they did on the last one. They had great spacing, and I think that's the way that they're going to have to try to attack Quaker Valley because they're not overly big. As you're going to see this opportunity, and it is Burns who got the head and got that out of danger, but right back to it with another corner.
High bender. Getting ahead on it was Kreischer, and it sails over the crossbar.
That would have been a shocker as the center back with 4 goals on the season had an opportunity on that backside and got a good piece of the forehead to it. Checking this out on the replay, just enough pressure that time from Nick Allen on the backside to allow him not to get a perfectly clean header on net.
Blaze Burns to the near side, out of bounds. Dunda cannot keep it in. Throw in here for the Green Dragons as we approach the 8-minute mark here in the second half. Quaker Valley has dominated a majority of this one, but Lewisburg here over the last few minutes has really possessed. There was a good look here on the near side, but unfortunately nobody home, but a battle for it at the end line, and that will be a goal kick last touched by Noah Powling.
They're quickly going to try to move it up the field. Nice job that time by the Quakers catching Lewisburg off guard.
Quaker Valley trying to reverse fields.
We already see that Ryan Edwards is back in the game for Quaker Valley.
Permy Ashkin battle with Burns, and it goes out of bounds. And the officials are letting these players play. Not a whole lot of foul calls in this one.
They determined on that one that Burns had already sent that ball towards the out of bounds before Permy Ashkin ran into him. So that's why they did not allow the foul on that play.
This will be a throw-in almost from the corner. Carter Hoover tried to play it back, could not keep it in. Now throw-in going the other way for the Quakers. Towards the midfield it goes. Lewisburg tried to put it forward, but sent back to the midfield by Burns. And now there's a foul on Hoover.
We're going to say that Hoover undercut on the play. She already had the man in the air. We're going to watch this again, and Edwards gets that call this time.
Here is Edwards with the left foot. The lead looking for Diggins. And then that's deflected off of Shamovitz. It'll be a throw-in for Lewisburg. So Quaker Valley now putting some pressure on with Edwards back into the game.
And they're going to say opposite way that Shamovitz, because of his intensity, he actually got a deflection off of his ball. So it's going to be a throw-in opportunity and a chance for Quaker Valley here. Communication, you see one of our officials there with the headset on. All of our officials are going to wear headsets, I believe, this weekend. It's a great way for them to communicate wherever they are on the field, especially on a windy day like this. It's not like you're going to hear somebody from all the way across the pitch.
Good job by Lewisburg, but keeping it in is Dunda. He'll play it to the opposite side, Nick Allen. Back to Dunda. Now Dunda will play it back to Krebs. Burns to Edwards. Quaker Valley showing patience, and Edwards was looking for Shamovitz, and now it's sent sky high opposite way by Lewisburg.
Yeah, they had to bring it, and that ball goes all the way back into the defensive third. So that clearance from Lewisburg gives them an opportunity to pressure a little bit more. Credit them with something they do very well. That is pressure the ball on the offensive side, because that was an opportunity for Quaker Valley that never got started because of that pressure defense forcing them backwards.
Here's some more good defense. Passanetti takes it away, tries to play back to Kim, and he's taken down. And that will be a whistle against Quaker Valley.
Shamovitz that time leading with the posterior. You see him lean in and boop.
I like the sound effect.
Thank you.
That's probably what it sounded like down on the field,
I have a feeling it did not sound like that on the field. But, hey, this is a free kick with Stumbris that all of a sudden is dangerous from midfield.
Good ball by Stumbris, gets to the box. Free ball and shot, and it's knocked down in front. Kreischer tried to put it on net, and it will be a...
Offside.
Oh, offside. Oh, thought we were going to get a corner kick there, but again, good pressure from Lewisburg. How about that ball from Stumbris?
And that's
Beautiful.
why on a day like today, with the wind like it is, you get that ball anywhere near the midfield area, you've got a dangerous free kick because it's going to be able to drift in that box.
Cleared out by Krebs to the midfield. 3.5 to play here in the second half. Not a bad move right there by Noah Pauling, but now it's sent back towards the Lewisburg attacking third. Pauling keeps it in play. Deflection, oh, and I thought Permy Ashkin was going to have a chance at it, but it deflected a little bit past him. Throw in far side for Lewisburg. Trying to move quickly now. Ian McKinney will play it back. Stumbris. Oh, and a takeaway.
They've got
Quaker
numbers
Valley
too.
with some space. It's Kriebel. Edwards. Back to Kriebel, but they took too long and the Green Dragons got back.
It was a slow counterattack that time that Kriebel didn't attack. Was waiting to pass the ball off, and a great play on the opposite end there from Blaze Burns stepping in and stopping the counter.
Quick throw in for Lewisburg. Permy Ashkin will put it on goal, and it's handled nicely by Burr. It was on a bounce, and I believe that was Pauling who was waiting right there for the deflection.
Yeah, both of our keepers have done a great job not allowing rebounds on the shots that they've had to save in this game.
Cameron Diggins with some nice moves far side. Kriebel will play at the Shamovitz near side.
About 2 minutes left to go here in regulation.
Shamovitz. Good defense. Christensen Gural, and then right on him also was Caleb Kim, who has played a great match. Allen sends it towards the 18, right back on out. Some space for Ben Henry. Good defense right there by Ian McKinney. Back to the midfield it goes.
You go back to what they did in the first half, but now it turns into an opportunity the other end as Stumbris makes the interception, starts the counter.
Good touch to the far side. Now the lead ball to Permy Ashkin. With some space, Burns giving chase. Permy Ashkin around the defender.
Corner.
And it is a corner.
Nice job by Permy Ashkin getting a touch from Burns, knowing that if he's going to go end line like he did, Burns is either going to have to knock it out or let him go.
It'll be Philip Permy Ashkin to take this one. Oh, and a great play by Zach Burr to come off his line and grab it out of the air.
You know a goalkeeper is in the right zone when in a moment like this with a minute left to go in a tie game in the state championship, he's able to come fearlessly off his line and make that play. Great job by Burr commanding his box.
One more look at the corner.
You've got players in the area. You've got two different guys, Passanetti and Pauling, both were in there.
And now as we approach the 30-second mark, we'll have a goal kick here for Zach Burr. They'll just play it to Burns. Burns sends it to the midfield for Dunda.
Time for one more rush if they want.
Kriebel gets it. Through a couple defenders with some space. The play to, and the shot, and it sails just wide for Shamovitz. What a rush for Quaker Valley. They almost scored in the final 10 seconds of regulation. Shamovitz with a beautiful shot that sails just wide.
And they made a slight adjustment, putting Kriebel and Shamovitz both over on that left-hand side. Kriebel draws the defense over, and Shamovitz misses a state championship winning goal with seconds left to go by just inches.
What a rush by Quaker Valley. No score in this one. We are going to overtime here in the 2A Boys Soccer Championship here in Hershey, Pennsylvania on PCN.
This PIAA Championship on PCN is brought to you in part by Alvernia University.
are your dairy farmers.
Families just like you.
We work hard every day caring for our cows.
To produce fresh, nutritious, delicious milk and dairy products.
To feed families in our community. During these tough times, we're all in this together.
We thank our farmers,
Processors,
Truck drivers,
grocery store workers,
and all of you.
Remember, buy local.
Choose PA Dairy and PA Preferred.
We are stronger together.
Because. 2 syllables, 7 letters, so much meaning. Because is an explanation, an answer to the question why. It connects where we've been to where we're going. And at Highmark, the road ahead is altogether new. We are reinventing healthcare because it can be simpler, smoother, because it can do more. Get ready for healthcare that goes beyond care. Because life. Highmark, Blue Shield.
PCN offers Pennsylvania organizations, business, and associations the opportunity to have their message telecast statewide. Fusion on PCN is a platform for you to reach out to all of Pennsylvania using our statewide cable network and online streaming. You produce the content with your message, and PCN delivers it statewide. Fusion is a partnership that helps expand your reach and meet objectives through an alliance with PCN. Go to pcntv.com/fusion for more information.
Doesn't matter what part of the state you're from, one thing is certain: Pennsylvania loves sports. On the first Friday of the month, PCN takes you inside the lines at 6:30 p.m. PCN delivers insight from the people who cover sports from every corner of the Commonwealth. From high school to college to professional sports, PCN takes you inside the lines. Learn more at pcntv.com.
PCN takes you over the hills and through the woods with the PIAA Cross Country Championships. Watch the competition November 24th starting at 6 p.m. on cable and streaming with PCN Select. Learn more at pcntv.com. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports.
I'm Dave Williams, your host here in Pennsylvania Country Roads. Come join me as we travel throughout the countryside of Pennsylvania, places that you love to see, the people you love to meet, and of course, the many wonderful things that go on in our state. All this and much more every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. on PCN TV.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium for the 2A Boys Soccer Championship here in the PIAA. We are going to overtime. No score between Lewisburg and Quaker Valley. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. We take a look at the overtime rules here, Brian.
Yeah, we already took that 5-minute break. We're in the last minute of it. The coin flip will determine side and possession. And here, usually that doesn't matter. Here, that matters. You want the wind at your back, at least to start this one, because the first team to win is going to win this game. You've got a 20-minute sudden victory periods, and if the game remains tied, as you can see, penalty kicks determine the winner. You hope it doesn't get to that, because that is the cruelest way to determine a state champion, and we have not had to do that, I believe, since they instituted the penalty kick rule. So that's why they put the 20-minute overtimes in there. They extend the 15 to 20 minutes. Regular season, it's 10. They go all the way to 20 here in the States and have that opportunity.
Well, it was a thriller in the second half, especially a couple of really close calls. And as we take a look at some of these highlights, Lewisburg finally put some pressure on Zach Burr. Burr coming up with the save, and this corner kick was probably the Green Dragons' best opportunity.
Yeah, had a great chance there. Zach Kreischer got the head on it and just couldn't quite direct it right on net. Here's another chance on the corner, as Lewisburg was able to have 4 of those corners in that second half of play. But you had a few seconds left to go and one more chance, and this play almost won the title for the Quakers. That was with about 7 seconds left to go in regulation. They didn't even have to put the ball back in play. So both these teams at this point, you're taking a look there. J.J. Vecchio, you can see him with in front of his bench for Quaker Valley. That's his keeper, Zach Burr, who has played very well, and we are underway. Lewisburg has the wind at their back to start overtime number 1.
And I think that's great for the Green Dragons. Really, they had a lot of momentum going this way. They created some set-piece opportunities, a little more pressure. So we'll see if Lewisburg can take advantage with the wind at their backs. Here they go with the rush. Good ball, but a great play by Dunda. The Green Dragons still have it. And the shot, and it might have been a handball. I'm not sure. It was not called on that shot by Permiashkin.
Still on play, though.
Here on the near side, Christensen Gural, and that will be a corner kick. And how about Lewisburg right out of the gate?
Trying to take advantage of a quick start to the second and to the overtime period. They are going to have a corner kick opportunity here. And the guy who takes them is Nick Passanetti.
Passanetti with the left foot. Low line drive and headed into the air by Quaker Valley. And cleared out of the 18, and Edwards sends it to the midfield.
Looking again for Kreischer at the end of that play. And now Quaker Valley, I think the main thing after that little start to the overtime, they just need a little bit of possession here just to calm things down for a moment.
Permiashkin, he wanted to get it to Diefendorfer, but he already cut to the middle of the field.
Remember, one team has substituted a lot more liberally in this game. Is that the reason that they're able to have a little energy here? But here comes Shamovitz.
Shamovitz. Left foot, and another great save by Tony Burns on the ground and covering it up.
It just had to be in the right place that time, position himself on his near post. He's going to force Shamovitz to go wide on that play, and he chose to go near side instead.
Overtime thus far has been entertaining. You had Lewisburg with the set piece on the corner kick, and then you had a nice little rush by Quaker Valley and Shamovitz. And this will be a direct for the Quakers after that foul call. This will be right just shy of midfield.
Yeah, but into the wind.
Into the wind, yes.
That doesn't help you. This is where you probably would be better served to try to possess. Good driving ball, though.
Yeah, there's a good ball. Low line drive by Allen. But right there was Kreischer. Burns has to grab it away before Kreibel could get the head on it.
That's a good play from Edwards. And then Burns barely able to have his teammate over there save that ball in play to start the counter.
And Rowan Kreibel had a chance, but again, a great play by Tony Burns. Now Quaker Valley with it. Here's Cameron Diggins, who has played very well as a reserve for the Quakers.
That's why he's still out there right now. He's given them some of their better options on that side.
Kreibel, the cross. Shamovitz, good play by Caleb Kim.
Yeah, Kim was able to get there, and Shamovitz was hoping it would get all the way through, and it does not clear all the way to that left side.
Kreischer. Sent away by Tim Smith, the senior defender. And there's a handball.
I think also if you're Lewisburg right now, based on how they played the first 40 minutes of this game, you almost feel like you've got to get it done now here in this first 20 minutes, because when Quaker Valley had the wind at its back, it was all offense all the time for the Quakers. So very imperative, I think, for Lewisburg. If you're going to defend your state championship here, you're going to have to get things done here in this 20 minutes.
I would probably agree. They have 16 minutes remaining going in this direction. Stumbris will take it. Low line drive goes right on net and handled by Burr.
And no problem whatsoever that time for Zach Burr.
And now Quaker Valley trying to take it back the other way, but again, Lewisburg doing a good job in the midfield here. Rudy Christensen Gural has been all over the field.
Yeah, anytime you've got a game that's 0-0 at this point, you can look at the guys on the offensive side. But those guys who play those defensive midfield positions, Christensen Gural for Lewisburg, you've got Will Dunda, Ben Henry for Quaker Valley. Those are the guys who, along with that back line, are making a lot of those plays that stop things from going the other way and make sure that the possession, which we have not seen either team really do a great job of keeping a long string of possession, and that's partially because of those defensive mids.
Good move by Kreibel. Still possessing. making some moves, goes towards net, and a great play by Zach Kreischer.
That's a tremendous step by him because Kriebel, the All-Stater, made a couple of sensational moves to get himself free on the right side of the box.
Battle at the midfield. Burns sends it to Edwards. And Tony Burns. He'll grab that.
So many times in situations like this in overtime, in big games like this, what ends up happening? Either there's a mistake by somebody or your best player on the field is the guy who makes something happen. And for Quaker Valley, that is Kriebel.
And another corner kick earned by Lewisburg as a good play by Noah Pauling after a nice touch from Permiashkin here on the near side.
And this is the other place that things happen, and that is on set pieces. And Lewisburg is very adept at creating those opportunities for themselves. They've been dangerous. They've been looking for Kreischer as the trigger guy on most of these corners.
Passanetti goes far post this time. Header, and it is wide. Stumbris and Kreischer were both right there.
That time it was Stumbris who got his head to it.
There's Kreischer who got a good chance on another corner. And the Green Dragons, these corners have been very dangerous. One more look at this one.
Again, they're not big, but they judge the ball well, and the way they set up the corners gives them the spacing necessary to make those dangerous runs.
Shamovitz, the touch. Kriebel inside the box, making a move, taken down. No call.
That one I thought he dove. I thought there was one in regulation where they probably, and the replay shows it, this time Kriebel knew he was going to get contact, tried to draw that one because he had too much momentum going towards that end line to make something happen.
We do have a corner coming up here. What do you think, Brian?
No, I still don't think there's anything there. Nope. Simulated the contact. Kriebel's upset, and that's something that a lot of times a goal scorer is going to get. You're not going to get that here in overtime of a state championship game.
I thought we had a corner, but it will just be a throw-in for Shamovitz. Looking for Edwards. Cleared out by Passanetti. Diefendorfer dispossessed, but now he'll get it back. Right across midfield. Through ball too far. Was looking for Permiashkin, and it'll be handled by Zach Burr.
I think the other thing here that's in play here, Ari, is the fact that this Lewisburg team all season long, there have been times where they have been tested, they have had to dig deep, and they have had the tougher games that they have had to use that grit to overcome. This overtime is all about grit. Does Quaker Valley have that grit?
Dunda! Oh, it's a great ball here, a little bit too far for Shamovitz, and Tony Burns comes out to get it.
With a chance here if they wanted to counter, but a nice step by Blaze Burns.
A whistle and a foul against Lewisburg. It is a direct, but I think Burns might take this pretty quickly, and he does. Dunda. Edwards with space. The coaching staff for Quaker Valley telling him to push forward. He'll play it to Shamovitz. Shamovitz will cross in front, and stepping into that was Carter Hoover. But keeping it in play, nice job by Tim Smith for the moment. Battle at the midfield, Smith has it again, but Permiashkin dispossesses. Here he comes the other way. 3 black jerseys in front of him. Permiashkin. Nice tackle, Blaze Burns. He's been phenomenal.
These defenders have been so good on both sides all game long. Not just in the box, but it plays like that.
Kriebel cleared out by Stumbris. Near side, Shamovitz. The cross. And headed out by Carter Hoover and cleared out.
Just getting numbers behind the ball that time, but now we're seeing the width of the field being used by Quaker Valley.
McKinney. Edwards gets the pass. And another great play by Rudy Christensen-Gural. And here are the Lewisburg fans trying to urge their team on to push it down the field. But Quaker Valley has not made it easy.
Burns again with a step that starts this play off.
Good ball. Diggins looking for an opening. Tried to get it to Kriebel, wasn't there. Edwards trying to come up, but a good play by Caleb Kim. And it's sent over the sideline by Noah Pauling. It'll be a throw-in for Quaker Valley.
Starting to see some tired legs on both sides right now. And this is where you got to dig down as deep as you possibly can, because the coaches in overtimes don't normally like to go to the bench. A little different with the 20-minute overtime as opposed to just a 10-minute one, though.
Quaker Valley could not settle, and Nick Allen will track it down. Blaze Burns knocked down. Nick Passanetti. Again, too far for Permy Ashkin.
He was just trying to get that ball lofted before Burns was able to recover. But that ball with this wind is just going to trickle all the way back to the keeper every time. But against the wind, it has actually been Quaker Valley who's had the better of the play here in the overtime.
And now Permy Ashkin. Good lead pass. Is it too far? It is.
Yeah.
Too far for Reese Diefendorfer.
The idea was correct on a different field. And the other thing is not just the wind, but this is a fast field anyways on this turf. So the ball will take off and skid on this turf even when the wind isn't there.
Lewisburg trying to push forward into the attacking third. Blaze Burns taken down by Philip Permy Ashkin. Now here comes Shambovitz the other way. Shambovitz, good move. He'll take the shot, and it sails high.
He is dead tired right now, Ari. He was over here on the side, basically down on his haunches just a minute or so ago, and that time making a desperation move to the middle of the field. He just didn't have the energy to go any further with it and try to rip that shot.
Stumbris sends it to the midfield.
Get a little break between the overtimes if we do go to a second overtime.
And Lewisburg really had the good start to this first overtime and now trying to push forward again, but it's been Quaker Valley who has dominated possession here over the last 5 minutes.
They are the better team offensively, and they're showing it with how they're trying to build. They have the guys who are very, very dangerous in Shamovitz, Edwards, and Kriebel.
Here comes Shamovitz again. Gets past Kim, cuts it through, lost it for a moment, got it back. Into the 18, the shot, and that's not an easy one to handle. Tony Burns grabs it on a bounce with Cameron Diggins lurking.
Knuckled on him a little bit. Still, again, Burns save his 8th of the game with no rebound.
Tony Burns has been very solid in net for the Lewisburg Green Dragons. Zach Burr was not tested early, but made some good plays, especially on those corner kicks.
Yeah, both these teams showing why they're in the state championship game. We've had some tremendous performances all over the field, both sides.
Noah Pauling plays it to Permy Ashkin near side. It gets deflected off of Krebs, and it'll be another corner kick for Lewisburg.
Will 7 be a lucky number here? The 7th corner of the game for the Green Dragons.
It'll be Passanetti again. One more look here as Permy Ashkin got the deflection. Actually might have touched the hand of Krebs as it went over the end line. Passanetti, low line drive. Bouncing around and cleared out by Allen.
Stumbers tried to head that one to an area where there was a teammate there and almost got an opportunity.
Quick throw in there for Permy Ashkin.
Yeah.
Little too quick and not in the right spot.
Not going to give that to him.
Kim will throw it in now.
A little bit more desperation here, though, again, for the Green Dragons, because remember, they have the wind right now, and they were not good in that first half offensively. They were very good defensively, but not offensively when they had the wind in their face.
Permy Ashkin tried to fight through, but a good job by Krebs and Blaze Burns. Dunda sends it here near side. Shamovitz Now Kriebel. Whistle against Lewisburg sets up a direct and a set-piece opportunity for Quaker Valley.
Not the worst foul in the world that time by Christensen Gural.
And Dunda just quickly tries to get it to Kriebel, but ready for that was Simon Stumbris. Quaker Valley does have possession again. Edwards. Cross towards the 18, but right there is Kreischer.
Yeah, these center backs have been excellent on set pieces and also excellent guarding that back line. Between Stumbris and Kreischer, they have both had outstanding games for the Green Dragons on defense.
Down Quaker Valley, the other end, Blaze Burns has really been phenomenal. Here he is again, sending it into the air, 50-50 ball. I want a little push there called against Shamovitz. Didn't like that one.
Have to see that one on the replay. I'm not completely disagreeing with him on that one. It looked like a play that they had let go a few times earlier in this game. I don't know if he gained an advantage by extending. Was shielded off from it from our view.
Stumbris, low line drive. Diggins played it back to Allen. Now he has it back. Now Allen sends it into the air. Stumbris back the other way. Diefendorfer. Permiashkin, the touch to Diefendorfer. The Green Dragons with some spacing. Permiashkin has it back with space. He will cross. Blaze Burns is right there. Lewisburg keeping possession. Hoover will play it back. Here's a shot, and that sails high and wide from Rudy Christensen Gural.
Good idea, good step to it. Quaker Valley does not want to hesitate at all. They keep going as we take a look, and this one never really threatened.
Throw in here for Lewisburg. 2.5 to play here in the first overtime.
I'm not really sure that Christensen Gural was expecting Hoover either to drop that ball back to him.
Had some power behind it.
He did. I mean, he stepped to it well. It just the direction made me think that he was a little surprised by the pass.
Into the midfield it goes. Cameron Diggins. Up ahead to Shamovitz. Now Edwards. He'll play it near side. Kriebel. Kriebel with some good footwork. Gets around Caleb Kim. Loose in front and sent away by the back line, Ian McKinney.
It wasn't going in, and there was nobody on the back porch to knock it in, but McKinney made sure of it when Burns was taken away from his goal.
Kriebel still with it for Quaker Valley. Gets around a couple defenders. He crosses, and Stumbris is there. Sends it out of the box. Here comes Permiashkin the other way, taken away by Blaze Burns. Just over a minute to go here in the first overtime. Can Lewisburg make one final push here with the wind at their back? And here's a chase for it. Diefendorfer goes around the goalie, and he's taken down, and it will go over the end line as Zach Burr comes out to defend Reese Diefendorfer.
And that had game-winning goal written all over it. If you don't have a keeper who's quick off of his line, Zach Burr, a heroic save in that opportunity.
Another corner kick for Lewisburg. High, spinning, looking for a head, and it is hit over the end line, and it will be a goal kick. But one more look here. This was the save by Lewisburg. You're right, it wasn't going to go in, but a great job by McKinney to clear it out. And then here is the opportunity for Diefendorfer, and Burr just comes out just in time.
And Burr gets the ball. That's the key there. If he doesn't get ball, it's a PK. But he gets ball, and he clears it away from Diefendorfer and keeps it scoreless.
15 seconds to go. Here comes Kriebel trying to make some magic happen. Crosses, and it just goes wide of Diggins. And going out to get it is Tony Burns, and that should do it. Quaker Valley They almost did it at the end of regulation, and they almost do it here at the end of the first overtime. Well, 20 minutes of OT, not enough. We'll go to a second overtime right after this. You're watching the PIAA Boys 2A Soccer Championship here on PCN.
The PCN family. Our roots run deep. What grew out of a plan to distribute educational programming has grown into the nation's leading statewide public affairs network. Since 1979, PCN has been supported by cable operators across the state. It is because of this generous support that PCN uses no state or federal tax dollars, reaching more than 10 million of our neighbors. Thank your cable operator. We do. Focus on Aging Adults, in partnership with AARP, brings you a monthly panel discussion with topics such as prescription drug prices, holiday scams, retirement communities, and more, helping you understand issues important to seniors. Focus on Aging Adults, monthly on PCN. Visit PCNTV.com for the latest episodes and to see the upcoming schedule. PCN, proud to bring Pennsylvania to you.
Stream this championship and more anytime, anywhere, on demand with PCN Select. Learn more at PCNTV.com. Welcome back to Hershey Park Stadium alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. And even though no goals have been tallied, this has been an exciting one, and we had some really good chances at the end of that first overtime.
We did indeed, and just like they have at the end of each of the halves of play, Quaker Valley once again with an opportunity right here at the end, chip to the inside, and that is a split second away from having Cameron Diggins have a chance to try to win this one at the end of the first overtime. But now we will see if the wind helps Quaker Valley the way that they dominated possession in the first half of play when they had it. That's the last time they had the wind at their back. They've been going 60 minutes directly into this wind. Now they have it at their back. Can Lewisburg create something, or are they going to play for PKs where they had success in the last round against Midwest and were able to advance, or are they going to try to do something and get something going offensively the other way? Otherwise, it's going to be Quaker Valley. Yes, everyone, we're still here. It's cold, but they're down there cheering for their teams.
I love all the green on the Lewisburg side, trying to stay warm. And I'm sure whoever wins this one, they will not feel the cold in celebration. But what an unbelievable game. And, you know, Brian, we've called a lot of these games together. I've called a lot of soccer over the years. This has to be one of the more exciting 0-0 contests that I can remember.
There are a lot of 0-0 games that you will, at the end of them, think that you've wasted a lot of the time of your life. And this is definitely not one of them. These teams have had chances. We have seen some outstanding play on both sides of the ball from these teams, some creative stuff that they've done. And just nobody can solve either one of the keepers at this point.
So here we go. We are now at a point where it is Quaker Valley with the wind in their favor, moving left to right. The Quakers out of District 7, they are in the black. The Lewisburg Green Dragons, they're in the white out of District 4. Both teams have won state titles here in the 2A classification. One of them will win it here today. But we've taken a lot of time to try and determine who the winner will be. We're in the second overtime. And if we do not have a goal after these next 20 minutes, we will go to PKs. This has been a battle.
It has indeed. And we saw these two teams battle previous to this. That was back 2016. Lewisburg ends up winning that one 1-0. The following year, Quaker Valley was able to win a title that year. This is a squad who, with Lewisburg, you know, they are a surprise in many ways, but they weren't shocked that they were here. And they felt that they can beat anybody, they can lose to anybody. It depends on how they play. And they've played extremely well here today against a Quaker Valley team that has been waiting for a year, and the wait continues here in this state championship game for somebody to score.
It's unbelievable to think about these two programs have won. You've had the 2016 champ, 2017, 2019, 2020, and 4 of the last 5.
Yeah.
Unbelievable between these two programs right here at Hershey Park Stadium today. How about Permy Ashkin causing havoc?
I'll tell you what, he's been, since the second half, he has hit another gear, and you're seeing a different energy level out of Philip Permy Ashkin.
Absolutely, he's really caused a lot of havoc. And here comes Kriebel with some space. Good move to get around the defender. Shot and a save from Tony Burns.
Kicked it right at him. That's the only reason that we're still playing at this point. The 9th save of the game for Tony Burns, but it was an easier one than it should have been. Kriebel just didn't hit it to a corner directly at Tony Burns.
Throw in here for Lewisburg. And Ian McKinney will throw it in. He had a really good play. It wasn't a save, but still cleared it out as the ball trickled just shy of the end line. Allen looking for Kriebel. Keeps it in play, the cross, but nobody home.
That's the play they've been looking for and has been defended so well all game for Lewisburg. But the first time that they really got a chance to get that cross, nobody in the middle of the field ready to make that play for the Quakers.
Shamovitz trying to cross. Well defended. Headed out by Diefendorfer. Now moving through the midfield. Passanetti plays it far side to Pauling. Pauling looking for Permy Ashkin. Permy Ashkin tried to put on the brakes, but slipped and fell. But who else is there but Blaze Burns? And then the push called against Permy Ashkin.
Yeah, if somebody's going to do something offensively for Lewisburg, you feel it has to be Permy Ashkin at this point. Playing with a different level of engine at this point. But Blaze Burns all game long has been up to the task in that back line, and it just seems to be everywhere they need him to be to cut down any chance for a Green Dragon attack.
Lewisburg still trying to play here in their attacking third, and that ball will just trickle to Zach Burr. But unlike what we saw in the first half, Brian, Lewisburg going right to left has actually created themselves some scoring chances.
They have to. They have to play that way. In the first half, you could be a little bit more defensive. You still have another half of soccer with the wind at your back. Now you've got 20 minutes, and now at this point, 15 minutes and 40 seconds that you have before we go PKs. You have to make something happen.
Edwards down, no call.
And that one I'm surprised at, because that really wasn't a great advantage, and that would have been a very dangerous free kick opportunity.
Diefendorfer is down. We play on. Cameron Diggins plays it to Henry. Diefendorfer is still down, and the ball will trickle out, and we may get a stoppage here, and we will.
He's not the only one down. I think Kriebel's out there cramping up.
Yeah, we might have some cramps here at this point. Diefendorfer just hopping off. He's been a very important contributor for this Green Dragon squad. There is Kriebel.
Kriebel stretching. Edwards is out there stretching. This is a Lewisburg team that substituted, especially in the beginning of the game. They were putting substitutes in. This is a Quaker Valley team that has not substituted as much, especially for their frontline guys. And how much of a factor does that play down the stretch of this game?
We play on here as Diefendorfer is off. Silvacoast, we just saw him a moment ago, back in. Shamovitz, and he sends it sky high towards the scoreboard here at the stadium.
He just keeps getting underneath the ball on that shot as he crosses over to that right foot, leans back instead of staying over top of it.
Under 15 to play here in this second overtime.
You hope for a moment of brilliance from somebody if we're going to have that golden goal.
It would be something, because there's been a lot of scoring chances, a lot of great saves here in this one. And for a team like Quaker Valley, who has outscored their opponents 22-0 over the last few. They certainly have been frustrated at times, as there's another great defensive play with a bunch of Green Dragons surrounding Rowan Kriebel. And here comes Permiashkin the other way. Looking up ahead for Silva Coast, but taken away again. A great play by Quaker Valley's back line.
Nick Allen was the guy running with him, the right back. We talked earlier about how important J.J. Vecchio, their head coach, says those two outside backs have been guys who were overlooked many times, and there's Nick Allen making a great play, running man-to-man with the last player who had the opportunity at the ball for Lewisburg and a chance to score if Allen's not there.
Lewisburg saying it touched Diggins last, but it will be a throw-in for the Quakers. Headed out of bounds by Stumbris. It'll be a throw-in for Quaker Valley.
Each of these teams has been in overtime once in the playoffs. For Lewisburg, it was the last round where they had to go penalty kicks against Midwest and ended up winning that 4-3, as Tony Burns made 2 saves in penalty kicks for that one. For this Quaker Valley team, they were forced in the WPIAL playoffs in the semifinals to go to overtime by Ambridge, a team that they had handled a couple times during the season.
Shamovitz with a good move, and that ball was deflected.
Just knuckled.
Just knuckled a little bit.
Yep. Got a good strike to it, got good movement on it. Unfortunately for him, instead of knuckling toward goal, it knuckled away from goal. But they played Ambridge, and it was a tight game where they found an overtime goal. This time, wasn't that far off from challenging.
I thought it did deflect off Stumbris in real time, but yes, I see the replay, and it just knuckled a little bit. There's a good little pass from Diggins looking for Kriebel, but again, a good job by Lewisburg.
That was McKinney who was back there on the play.
Yeah, the back line, Kreischer, Kim, McKinney, and Stumbris have done a great job for the Green Dragons.
I know we at some point have to name a player of the game. That's going to be difficult at this point.
I mean, you have to give it to one of the keepers who have done really well. I mean, Tony Burns, 8-9 saves now for Burns?
Burns has 9 saves, but how do you ignore the back line? It's almost like if you give it to one of the keepers, you're also giving a nod to their entire defensive back line at this point. And, of course, you could have somebody score that game-winning goal, and that person automatically gets to be considered.
Well, we have some ways to go here. Zach Burr staying awake back there.
And Permiashkin bumped him on the way by, and Burns is definitely going to say something to the referee at this point, trying to protect his keeper. And that's a dangerous play from Burr because he tries to restart without being in front of the net, and he throws the ball across the field.
Fortunately, it did not turn into a turnover. Now Quaker Valley looking to reverse fields, looking far side for Shamovitz. Shamovitz sends it towards the box, but right there on a bounce to grab it is Tony Burns.
Kriebel was in the area. I'm not sure if that was completely across or maybe just a hoping shot. But regardless, Kriebel was on the doorstep, and Burns just had to be sure of it and came out and grabbed it.
Diggins was played a solid game off the bench for J.J. Vecchio and Quaker Valley. Just about midway through the second overtime. Decent through ball, but Silva Coast couldn't catch up with it. And McKinney just lets that one go out.
You're seeing both teams right now. You're seeing some tired passes also. One thing that really, many times when you hit an overtime period and you get deep into things, one thing that disappears is possession, and all of a sudden you see teams play a little kickball. Let's throw it over the top, see if somebody can run onto it, make a play against tired legs.
Romano out, Diefenderfer back in, so that's good news for Lewisburg.
Romano right now looked like he might be cramping up a little bit on the side.
He's going to take a break and put a jacket on. Edwards, battle with Stumbris, and now back to Dunda. Diefendorfer. Now Carter Hoover. Lewisburg trying to clear, but Quaker Valley keeping it in their offensive end. Good play by Kriebel, but again coming on is another member of the Lewisburg back line, Kreischer. And he will send it out of bounds. Something that professional wrestling crowds, when they see a game or a match that's really going well, they'll go fight forever. That's sort of like this right now. I can see a crowd just telling these two to play forever, because that's the sort of competition this has been. Tremendous competition from both of these sides, and it feels like we're going to play forever, but maybe not. Tony Burns coming way off his line to grab it away from Shamovitz. And Shamovitz just sort of waited for that ball to get there. If he comes to it, Burns is stuck in no man's land. We're 8 minutes away from PKs. Yeah, I'm not sure Shamovitz expected Burns to come out there. And really, there should have been a foul there, because Shamovitz got the leg up as Burns went for the ball. Kreischer heads it towards Hoover. Hoover's been very, very quiet, really, from the offensive side of things. He's sort of been that quiet presence in the middle over the last few minutes. Permiashkin fighting for it. Blaze Burns wins the battle. He's basically, Burns at this point is almost shadowing Permiashkin. He knows who the danger guy is, and he's going to make sure he's wherever Permiashkin is. Blaze Burns sends it to the midfield. Simon Stumbris. Passanetti plays it back. Yeah, Burns was all WPIAL last year as a defender. Repeated the trick this year, and he's showing why today. Stumbris tracks it down with Shamovitz on him. Diefendorfer here near side. McKinley tried to clear. And out of bounds, it will be a throw-in for Lewisburg. There you see Ryan Edwards, who really had a great first half, and he had a lot of good looks and really facilitated the offense, but he's been fairly quiet here in overtime. He got a little frustrated too, and he's taken a few shots. I mean, he's been on the inside, and he has had a lot of physical play. He's gone down several times in this game, just trying to find his way, but we know he is capable of setting the table for either one of his main two scores. 6 minutes to go here in the second overtime. Again, I do not believe, if I remember my research correctly, we have not, since they instituted penalty kicks as a way to finish the state championship game instead of having co-champions, I do not believe we've ever gone to penalty kicks. Well, we are under 6 minutes away from that. But the way we've seen some of these teams have these quick scoring threats, you never know. Here comes Burns on the offensive end. Blaze Burns the cross towards the 18, headed towards the far side. Kriebel with a crack at it, but Stumbris right there. How calm is he? I mean, how calm are both these teams in the back right now? I know. It's really been very good. I mean, Lewisburg has been steady all game, especially in the first half when the Quakers were just coming at him, and they just did a great job. Oh, and a collision right there as Kreischer's taken down. We play on. Shamovitz up ahead. Kriebel tried to get a shot off. Now here's a shot, and it will be handled by Tony Burns as Edwards took that shot off a nice little touch pass from Cameron Diggins. And he's pulling at the inside of his left thigh off of that one. Burns covering up on that one, you see. I love the fact that Burns this year getting the recognition he so deserves for being the quality of keeper he is. And here's another save for him. Another one from outside the 18. And at this point, as we approach the 4-minute mark, are we going to see more of these shots from outside the 18 just to try and get the bounce?
Yep, that's pretty much what's going to happen right now. And he has not left a rebound all game. He's left one rebound, and that was at the end of the first half when there was a second left to go, and the rebound was okay for him to leave. That's the only rebound he's left on any of these saves he's made.
Sent into the air by Rudy Christensen Gural. Quaker Valley has put some pressure on here over the last few minutes.
Well, they're trying to end it. I don't think at this point, I don't know that they want to go penalty kicks because some of their guys, their guys up front, they've been cramping up towards the end of this second overtime. So are they able to really do what they need to on that spot kick? And it's not a team that has been in that situation. Lewisburg was just in this situation in their last game.
Diefendorfer. And Diefendorfer cramps up again. We play on here, under 3 to play. Oh, and the official will stop it.
It's because, and it's the right move here because he's in the line of where the play is going to be. If he was away from the play, we're looking at both these teams right now. Both teams stretching out. You got guys who are cramping up all over the place. I've seen Dunda, I've seen Edwards, I've seen Shamovitz, I've seen Kriebel. All 4 of those guys for Quaker Valley who have not come off the field, all of them have been stretching out here towards the end.
Wow, that Kreischer let it go, and Tony Burns grabs it with Kriebel lurking.
And I cannot hear what's going on down there. I can only hope for Kreischer's sake that his keeper was calling him off there, because Tony Burns has been a vocal leader back there.
Here comes Lewisburg, far side, but unable to keep control is Philip Permiashkin. Now Shamovitz racing forward. Well, he attempts a shot, and he plays it to the official.
He was wide open, because Kriebel was not. He wasn't going to be able to get it to Kriebel.
McKinney plays it to the midfield. Passanetti. And like you said earlier, Brian, Lewisburg coming off the PK victory in the semifinals. Certainly comfortable going to PKs. Quaker Valley has not really needed that.
I'm going to disagree with you. No one is ever comfortable going to PKs because it's a crapshoot.
Good point.
I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yes.
It's a guessing game to some extent, and a lot of it comes down to execution, but the other part is there's a lot of luck involved, and you don't want to put your hands in your fate in Lady Luck's hands at this point in the game. You'd rather take care of it yourself, but we're a minute 15 away from deciding it that way.
Maybe comfortable was not the right term, but
they've been there.
More experience,
yes,
with the PKs.
Now, we still have a minute left to go, and remember, we have had 3 different opportunities where clock has been ticking down, and each time Quaker Valley has gotten an opportunity at goal.
Yes,
will they get
have.
one more that will win them a state title?
Kriebel, lacrosse, Edwards. Good job by Silvacos, who just came in for Diefendorfer. And that'll go out, and it will be a throw-in for Quaker Valley.
30 seconds.
Allen plays it to Edwards with some space. Edwards will cross, and a good job by Caleb Kim, and that will trickle over the far sideline with 15 seconds to play in the second overtime.
One more chance to send the ball in and hope.
Krebs sends it towards the 18. Headed out of harm's way by Stumbris. Sent into the air, and that will do it. Through a second overtime, no goals. We will have penalty kicks to decide the state championship when we return back here at Hershey on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Don't pass on the PIAA Football Championships. Rush on over and watch it on PCN. With multiple camera angles, commentary, and instant replays, we're the best place to watch on cable and streaming. No one does the PIAA State Championships like PCN. Watch the Football Championships live December 9th, 10th, and 11th on cable and streaming. Learn more at PCNTV.com. PCN is Pennsylvania Sports.
Super Cow Fragilistic. It's the Pennsylvania Farm Show. With a here and a there, PCN takes you everywhere. Stop in and say, hey, when at the Pennsylvania Farm Show and take home a PCN cow. PCN is everything Pennsylvania.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium, and here in the 2A Boys Soccer Championship, we are going to penalty kicks. Quaker Valley and Lewisburg have played an exciting scoreless tie, but it's going to be PKs that decide this one. Alongside Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein. And Brian, you know, we talked about it. Lewisburg won in the semifinals in PKs. You take a look at the fans, they're getting pumped up because I think they're excited to finally see some goals.
Ball's going to go in the back of the net somewhere, and it's supposed to. And the person who finally has the advantage on PKs is the one kicking the ball. And to this point, it's been the keepers who've had the advantage. You see Zach Burr there, number 50, getting some encouragement from his teammates. He's made 3 saves today. His counterpart on the other side, Tony Burns, has made 11 saves in this game for Lewisburg. And let's quickly explain how the penalty kick procedure goes. Each coach will select 5 kickers, and they can be, and this is different from other rules of different things. You didn't have to be on the pitch, so you can pick any 5 guys who are available on your bench who played, and those guys are available to come in and take those kicks. So each team will put 5 out there. They'll alternate, and they've already had a coin flip to determine which side and who's going to kick first. And then after 5 kicks, whoever's ahead is your state champion. If they are still tied, they go back, and the coaches have to pick 5 different players. So if it gets there, that'll explain why we're going to have another little delay. But it looks like, we'll see how different it is. Passinetti is one of them. Permy Ashkin's going to take one. Stumbris, Hoover, and
it's Christensen Grural.
Christensen Grural is the other one. So Romano, who looked like he wasn't 100%, he took one in the state semifinal. He's replaced here by Permy Ashkin. It is a completely fresh alignment here for Quaker Valley as they will go Kriebel. They will also go with Edwards. I also see and expected to see Shamovitz out there. Nick Allen will take one of these, and Will Dunda. So the 4 guys you would definitely expect, the 4 real goal scorers for this team, and Nick Allen, the other player who's being trusted by J.J. Vecchio.
It'll be Lewisburg to start things off, and it will be Nick Passinetti.
And he's the guy who took the first one when they played against Midwest, and he scored.
The 2A Boys Soccer Championship comes down to this.
Usually,
5 shooters on each team.
And usually your most confident kickers, you put at 1 and 5. You want to get the right start, and you want to get the right guy to finish.
Nick Passinetti. In goal for Quaker Valley, it's Zach Burr. He'll go with the left foot. And Burr gets a piece of it, but it goes in.
Wow, what a great read from Burr that time. The dive was correct and just couldn't quite get enough on that. He's frustrated with himself because that was an opportunity, but too much power from Passinetti.
Guessed right completely.
So well-struck PK, a great dive from Burr, and just couldn't quite keep it in.
And now it'll be Rowan Kriebel, the WPIAA Player of the Year.
Guy who is the first guy in. Check that. They're saying somebody else has to go first. Oh.
Kriebel's coming off. Oh, wait.
He doesn't have shin guards in.
Ah, I see.
He took the shin guards off. Actually, there's a couple guys now who are coming over the sideline. You got to be properly equipped. Even when there's not going to be any contact out there, you still have to be properly equipped. So
yeah, I just saw Shamovitz go to the sideline.
So now Kriebel will take this one. 40 goals on the season, but needs this one to equalize and keep this thing even through the first round of PKs.
Tony Burns has come up big today. He has had some huge saves, 11 of them on the day. Rowan Kriebel.
Ball moved a little bit on him.
Might have that a few more times here in PKs. The wind is howling here at Hershey Park Stadium. Great hesitation. Rowan Kriebel gets Quaker Valley on the board.
Now, one thing that Burns did against Midwest, he guessed right, his right, 5 times in a row. You would have to think that Quaker Valley might be on to that, especially if he does the same thing on the next kick. So keep an eye on that as a possibility as Permy-Ashkin steps right into the rotation for where Romano was in the previous round.
Philip Permy-Ashkin, the senior forward, goes second for Lewisburg. 2-1, Green Dragons.
The more confident kickers will go to the right across their body. It is a more comfortable feel for a right-footed kicker to pull that ball to the left, and this time Permy-Ashkin puts it into that opposite corner.
Here is Ryan Edwards up second for the Quakers. And that time, Tony Burns jumped the other way, and Edwards puts it into the back of the net. We're tied at 2.
Smart move, though, from Burns to go the other direction, because you have to show them something a little different. A tremendous placement from a guy who just has tremendous touch on the ball in Ryan Edwards, the senior.
Simon Stumbris, the senior defender, big leg for Lewisburg.
But he's the guy who missed. Out of the kicks that they took, he's the one who missed in the last round. Does that play in his head going to this one tied at 2?
Stumbris versus Burr. And it sails high. High and wide for Stumbris, and the door is open for Quaker Valley.
And Shamovitz is the guy who's up next for Quaker Valley. Stumbris trying to power that one and just got too far under it. Shamovitz is the guy, a good bit of sportsmanship from Shamovitz too. Also, just giving a little low 5 to Stumbris on the way by to try to console him, but just lean back. Shamovitz had the same problem in this game, though. Does he place the ball here, or does he go with the power and lean back like he has a few times in the game?
The chance for the Quakers to get the advantage. Shamovitz, goal. Snuck it underneath Tony Burns, and it's 3-2 Quaker Valley, and Lewisburg now has no margin for error.
Yeah, it was a placement thing that time for Shamovitz. Very well done. And Burns, you see how close he was, tantalizingly underneath his arm as it snuck through. Great look from our camera crew.
This is a big one right here for Rudy Christensen Gural. Goal. And he keeps Lewisburg alive, ties it at 3. But the fourth of 4 upcoming here, and it will be Will Dunda.
Calm and kept his nerve that time. Waited for the keeper to commit and then went right down the gut.
Lewisburg could use a save from Tony Burns on this one.
Now, Will Dunda is the guy who normally they have an option to pick somebody to take the PK. Will Dunda's their man. And he's out there right now. Not going to take a bigger PK here as Tony Burns trying to mind meld right now with Dunda to figure out which way he's going to go.
Will Dunda for Quaker Valley. Another goal. Goes top shelf.
And that was an outstanding finish off the PK. You talk about a guy who has all the nerve in the world. That's why Will Dunda's the guy who takes their PKs. My gosh, that was great. Upper shelf. There's no chance. I don't care what Tony Burns does on that one. He has no prayer saving that.
Carter Hoover has to connect with the back of the net to keep the Green Dragons alive. And he does. We are tied at 4, but it will be up to Nick Allen taking the long walk.
And this is a sophomore who's going up there to take the biggest kick that he's going to take. All-section player as a right back against the veteran four-year starter Tony Burns. And this is Nick Allen to try to score a state championship for Quaker Valley.
As a sophomore, an all-WPIAL selection, he now has the power to give the Quakers the state title. He's got it! And your 2A boys soccer champions, the Quaker Valley Quakers. What a game, what a finish. And the champions of District 7 are on top of the world of the 2A classification for the first time since 2019.
A very poised finish that time from a sophomore. Unfortunately for Lewisburg, their one kick that they missed was skied over the bar. But this is a team that has proven so much about themselves and their program this season. So don't take anything away from what they did here today. But Quaker Valley gets the wanted and needed state championship. They felt they had an opportunity a year ago. They waited an entire year, and now it comes to fruition in penalty kicks.
We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will have trophy and medal presentations. Quaker Valley wins it in PKs. You're watching the PIAA 2A Boys Soccer Championship here on PCN.
Hey parents, looking for an after-school learning activity for your kids? Let us help. Civics 101, the video game, is a great way to keep your child engaged and interested in learning about Pennsylvania. The more they learn about voting and our 3 branches of government, the further they advance through quizzes, fun reviews, and more. Start the learning today at PCNTV.com. PCN, Pennsylvania Politics and Policy. The PCN family. Our roots run deep. What grew out of a plan to distribute educational programming has grown into the nation's leading statewide public affairs network. Since 1979, PCN has been supported by cable operators across the state. It is because of this generous support that PCN uses no state or federal tax dollars, reaching more than 10 million of our neighbors. Thank your cable operator. We do.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium, where Quaker Valley defeats Lewisburg 1-0 on PKs. It was a hard-fought game. And now it's time for today's player of the game, and we are going to give it to Blaze Burns, the defender for Quaker Valley, who played phenomenal.
Yeah, he was sensational, and anytime you have a game that goes 0-0 the entire way, anytime there's a chance the other direction, when the offense has a chance, somebody has to stop them. And the guy who anchored that back line the entire game was that guy right there. Blaze Burns played a phenomenal game in the back. And at the end, it ends up going to penalty kicks. And fate is cruel sometimes, and Lewisburg got here on PKs in the last round, and they lose the title here on PKs as well. But both these teams, fantastic effort here today, and Blaze Burns is your player of the game.
The player of the game is presented by Lebanon Valley College, listed #1 in Pennsylvania for job placement. Lebanon Valley College will get your career ready. Visit the campus and find out why their students are so successful. Undergraduate and graduate programs available for traditional and adult learners. Visit www.lvc.edu. Well, congratulations to Blaze Burns and the rest of the Quaker Valley Quakers, and this was the winner from Nick Allen.
Yeah, what a job. Tony Burns guesses to the right, desperately trying to pull that shirt off. No, you are not Brandy Chastain. He couldn't get the shirt off in time, but just jubilance from Quaker Valley. Heartbreak for Lewisburg. But Nick Allen, just a sophomore, and a guy who they asked to take that key kick at the end, and he kept his nerve, placed it where it needed to go. It had power, and it went to the opposite side of where the guy guesses, and they end up winning the championship with that one. You see J.J. Vecchio, the head coach, gets his own head coaching championship after their last couple have been under Andrew Marshall, so congratulations to him as well. And you can see on the face of Carter Hoover, it hurts. When you lose like this, it hurts even more because you know how close you were.
Let's turn it over now to our PA announcer, Ryan Hartman, for the trophy and medal presentations.
Ben Kettlewell to present the medals, starting with Tony Burns. Carter Hoover. Evan Hopkinson. Caleb Kim. Rudy Christensen Garal. Ian McKinney. Nick Passanetti. Philip Permiashkin. Matt Rawson. Simon Stumbris. Reese Diefendorfer. Mason Facero. Henry Harrison. Zach Kreischer. Matt Reich. Alfred Romano. Darian Silvakos. Trace Cassidy. Evan Gill. Caden Michaels. Edward Monaco. Noah Pauling. Paul Permiashkin. Marino Cardello. Alex Gilmore. Justin Mucilli. Assistant coach, Brent Ziegler. And Green Dragon head coach, Ben Kettlewell. And now we would ask that the Lewisburg seniors please step forward. As you are presented with the 2021 PIAA 2A Boys Runner-Up Trophy, congratulations to the Green Dragons of Lewisburg High School. And now it is time to meet your 2021 PIAA 2A Boys champions, the Quakers of Quaker Valley High School. Head coach J.J. Vecchio to present the medals, starting with Will Dunda. Rowan Kriebel. Ryan Edwards. Blaze Burns, Luca Raymond, Ian Morrison, Kellen Oth, John Freddie Krebs, Tim Smith, Keller Shemovitz, Grant Hurdleston, Zach Burr, Isaac Waller, Spencer Weha, Philippe Correa, Ben Henry, Graham Thompson, Colin Wood, Ben Haas, Carol Grin, Cameron Diggins, Nick Allen, Matteo Castellini, Jack Karwoski, Carter Turk, Nathan Pribick, Landon Grant, Sean Ryan, athletic trainer Derek Clark, and Quaker Valley head coach J.J. Vecchio. And now we would ask that captains Will Dunda, Rowan Kriebel, and Ryan Edwards please step forward as you are presented with the 2021 PIAA 2A Boys Championship Trophy. Congratulations to the Quakers of Quaker Valley High School.
Quaker Valley hoisting the trophy here in 2021. They didn't get a chance last year, but now the Quakers are the state champs at the 2A classification.
Yeah, congratulations to the Quakers. What a phenomenal job in this game of holding their nerve the entire time. There were times where they were frustrated by Lewisburg and by just some great defense being played on the other side. But through it all, they kept their composure, and that really showed when their key guys stepped up in the penalty kicks, each one stepped into the spot, being able to convert, and they end up by one PK winning the state championship over Lewisburg.
And congratulations to the Green Dragons of Lewisburg as well on a phenomenal season. So from my partner Brian Kaiser, I'm Ari Bluestein saying so long for now from Hershey Park Stadium, where again Quaker Valley defeats Lewisburg in PKs here to win the 2A Boys Soccer Championship. You've been watching Championship Soccer here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Relive the action with PCN. Did you know you can rewatch this and other PIAA championships with the PCN Select streaming service? Subscribe and stream on all your favorite devices. You can also purchase digital downloads, Blu-rays, and DVDs of PIAA Sports Championships on the PCN Store.